You know, the beauty of OBS is that I can stream within a few seconds. There it is. Cool. I'm live. You know the beauty of OBS? So this might be the worst live stream ever, or it might be the coolest live stream ever. We're going to have to see how this turns out. Completely unscripted. So this might be the worst. There we go. Mute that. Or it might be the cool. What's happening? Mute, unmute, mute, unmute. The worst. No. Or it might be. What the hell? Why was it doing that? I don't know. Hey, guys. Hey, guy. This might be the worst live stream ever, or it might be the best live stream ever. It's the Come At Me Bro live stream. So if you would like to come in and chitty chat with me, hit me up and we'll figure out a way to get you linked up one way or the other, whether it's on Skype or on Hangouts or any other method. A couple of things I just wanted to chit chat about. I was having a conversation with my brother recently about viruses and bacteria and health and germ theory versus terrain theory. Germ theory versus terrain theory. I was educating my brother on the fact that Louis Pasteur was a fraud and that he wrote in his notes that the germ is nothing and that the terrain is everything. And my fireplace, my wood stove blower just turned on, so I hope that noise doesn't bother anybody. If it does, let me know and I'll shut it off. It's not that cold in here, but I do have a fire going and I just turned that thing on, so it's just barely starting to get chilly. So if the blower bothers you guys, let me know. So I've mentioned before that my wife is a retired virologist. The truth is she worked in a virology lab. She's not a trained virologist. She's not a virologist by training. But she's got quite a bit of knowledge. 26 years, retired. She worked with viruses and vaccines in the chicken industry. And my brother is he's my older brother, and he's a little bit of a know-it-all. And I had to educate him that that bacteria actually will spore, and they will go into a stasis. They will create a coating around themselves, and that they will go dormant, and they will stop metabolizing. By the way, now that there's 6 people watching, just in case, I'm going to keep saying this. Anybody wants to come in here, say so in the chat, and we'll figure out a way to get connected. I'm just looking for somebody to kind of chat with. That's why I titled it Come At Me, Bro. If you think I'm wrong, come in here telling me I'm wrong. If you think I'm right, come in here and tell me why you think I'm right or why you agree, or add to the conversation, or take the conversation in another direction, whatever. I just kind of felt like having a chit chat. So I'm having this conversation with my brother, and he's a smart ass and know-it-all, and I had to educate him and inform him that yes, viruses do actually spore. His argument was no, I'm sorry, bacteria spore. His argument was that viruses will spore, and no. There are at least 3 different species of viruses that I'm aware of. And so I asked my wife, and she said, yes, absolutely. And those species are, let me see, there's a bacteria called Bacillus something or other, or maybe it's just Bacillus. Um, there's another bacteria called, what's it, Clostridium, Clostridium. I'm not sure if there's an R in there, but there are a few species of bacteria. Hello, Io. There's a few species of bacteria that will actually go into a spore state and that they can survive. The thing my brother said was, he goes, I know that bacteria they have to have moisture. And I said, well, no, not exactly. Because they can literally go into a spore state. I'm going to have to get my reading glasses because a couple of people are popping into the chat and I'm going to have to do some reading now. Wonderful. But hey, I asked for it, right? Hey, Jenny. This virus is able to go latent in the nervous system like herpes, new data out. Jenny, as far as I'm aware, this virus has not been isolated, so I'm going to need citations. No, I'm not, until somebody can actually show me an actually purified, isolated, DNA sequenced virus. Until that happens, I'm not buying any of this bullshit about being created in a lab or anything. I'm not buying anything about new variations. Clostridium, yeah, that's the one, Sandy. Thank you. You Googled it, didn't you? Thanks, thanks, Sandy. Let me see. Every time they run the genome, they have to isolate it. Actually, Jenny, that's back. You have that backwards. They have to isolate it before they run the genome. I know what you're saying. It's like if they say they ran the genome, that they must have isolated it. That's like a post hoc rationale. In fact, they have not yet isolated it. There's no paper. There's no study. Nobody's claiming that they've isolated it. I'll show you the CDC website published on FDA.gov website. The CDC document on FDA website. It's not been isolated. It would be impossible to fake. No, it's not possible to fake. Anyone with a lab capable can get some. That's not actually true, Jenny. It's really not that true. And here's how. Let me tell you a little story, Jenny, before you keep typing so that I don't have to feel the need to respond. Just listen, hear me out. My wife was a quote-unquote retired virologist. My wife spent 26 years in a laboratory working with chicken vaccines for the company that we all know as Merck. And my wife even helped develop a vaccine, so she says. And when all this COVID shit came out, her and I really started talking about her job because I had a lot of questions. And one of my questions was, hey, honey, did you ever see a virus under an electron microscope with your own eyeballs? And she said, no. She said, we had a electron microscope on campus, meaning on the property in the facility in one of the buildings on their property. And she said, no, I've never actually seen it with my own eyes. So let me get this straight. My wife worked in the vaccine industry for 26 motherfucking years and never once laid her own eyeballs on a goddamn virus. What my wife was a freaking lab rat. My wife had a job and somebody gave her a test and they said, add this mixture to this mixture. If it turns yellow, it's contaminated. If it turns blue, move forward. That's basically the job most of those people in those labs have. That is the job that they perform. So no, and I'm with you, Jenny. I understand the it's intuitive. It's almost like, yeah, you would think that all these people in all these labs, they could just easily isolate it and figure it out and whistle blow and show this or show that. And the reality is vastly different than what we think it is. And that's just not the case. No. Most of the people in those labs do what they're told, just like my wife. And they're just lab rats. They're students, they're PhDs, they're people fresh out of college, they need jobs, and they don't have the means mentally or the cojones to challenge their authority or their boss. When their boss says, this is your job is to take this stuff and put it in there. And if it turns this color, we're going to call that contaminated. And if it turns this color, it means you're good. That means move forward with the process or move forward with the test. Hides cure for Alzheimer's. Left out the viral cause. There is no viral cause for Alzheimer's. No, they don't want to cure us. That's true. I totally agree. It's not, but Alzheimer's, I think there's actually legitimate papers that show that Alzheimer's is the result of aspartame. What's up, Darth? And by the way, I don't know how many people are in here right now. Oh shit, what did I do? Let me see, what was it? Oh, 14. So I'll just reiterate, if anybody wants to come chit chat with me, say so in the chat box, and we'll figure out a way to connect, whether it's on Skype or Hangouts or Discord or whatever. Please don't do Discord. Discord is terrible with audio. For some reason, I have trouble with audio on Discord every single time. Skype works very, very well. So if you have a Skype, I'll give you my Skype name. We can connect. If you want to come in chat, then we'll do a Skype call. And everything will broadcast right here, right now through the OBS. Other than that, I've got Google Hangouts. That's another way we can do it. And Google Hangouts works well with audio. So if you want to pop in here and tell me why I'm wrong, or tell me why you agree that I'm right, or change the conversation, say so. They found herpes and Alzheimer's plaques. This freaking virology. Did they find, okay, Jenny, did they find herpes in every single Alzheimer's sample? Every one. Got to be 100%. Because if it's the cause, then it must be there 100% of the time. And if you have a link to the study, I like reading scientific papers. So there's no need to, Jenny, come in here and talk to me. There's no need to agree to disagree. Somebody is right. Somebody is wrong. This is not an opinion. These are, hopefully we're talking about objective stuff here. Factual, provable. Did they find herpes in every single Alzheimer's plaque or not? Everyone they sampled? Really? Okay. Citation needed, please. I would love to read that paper. Because, Jenny, and I'm not doubting you, maybe there is a paper, maybe they did. I don't have any information on this. But what I do know is I have read many scientific papers where they actually said we isolated the virus, but when you read the paper, they fucking did not isolate the virus. Well, okay. Too bad you can't come on, but that's cool. I won't hold it against you. If you do have a citation, I would really, really love to have it. Give me a link to a paper that I can read. That'd be fantastic. But if they really did find herpes in every single fucking Alzheimer patient, that to me is very, very, very interesting. I would absolutely love to read that. I mean, literally, seriously, if they find herpes in every single Alzheimer's sample, that right there, that's something worth looking at. But I have no information. I can't argue against. If that's what you say, then I'm going to ask for a citation. I can't argue against it. Ryan and Whitney, I don't know who that is. Oh, Whitney Webb, let me see. I'm sorry, Wiki Spooks, I didn't even see. Beware of the pay difference in Ryan and Whitney Webb. All right, Wiki Spooks, you just made an assertion, so I'll ask you, just like I asked Jenny, citation needed. Okay, please don't come in my chat room and throw out, you know, statements and claims without being able to back it up. So if you think that those people are paid disinfo agents, I would like to know why you think that. There's a thick layer of nanodust on my brain. Okay, so I'm not going to take you seriously. Okay, Wiki, bye-bye. Yeah, don't need that. Give you a wrench? Yeah, I'll give you a wrench, Jenny. You got one. Hang on a second. Add moderator. Yeah, that's how we do it. Darth, you've been cool. You've been cool long enough. You get a wrench. And you get a wrench. And you get a wrench. And you get a wrench. Yeah, I could use a little help right now. Where's all my friends? Where's all my wrenches? My chat room is usually full of wrenches. Sandy. Are you the Sandy? Are you the Sandy I think you are? If you are, you get a wrench. So, anybody else, if you would like to, I will open the chat. If anybody wants to come hang and tell me why I'm wrong, or tell me why you think I'm right, or change the conversation. You're welcome, Darth. If you've been around long enough, you've been cool long enough, you get a wrench. Right, you do need a wrench to drop links. Sorry, I forgot that, Jenny. Um, Again, I'm just going to keep throwing it out there. If anybody wants to come chit chat, I'm kind of in the mood to have a little sparring session. So come tell me why I'm wrong. As far as I know, there has not been a single published paper that has actually isolated any virus and shown it through Koch's postlets to be an infectious agent. And I can go through a small laundry list. I can go through, let's see, polio. I can go. Let's start um, chronologically. Let's go back to the Spanish flu. Spanish flu, 1918. That was right after World War I. That's when lots and lots and lots, millions of men, soldiers, people, support groups were all over the world. And when the war was over, everybody went home. And if you're in the military, you know damn good and well, you get a goddamn vaccination before you can go to the bathroom. So they're not going to allow these people to travel around the world and then come back to their home country without being vaccinated. That's their excuse. Oh, you might carry something home and we can't have that. So everybody line up and get your freaking vax. And what they did was they toxified, they poisoned the holy fuck out of a great deal of people. 50 to 60 million people died as an estimate from the Spanish flu. And there was a study that was done, and this is a published study, and you can go and look this up. They had 100 volunteers of healthy people. Illusio, is this a CV stream? I don't know what that means. CV. A little slow tonight. What do you mean CV? Coronavirus? Oh, yeah. It's a coronavirus stream, I guess. I mean, that's the subject we're on right now. You can change the subject if you want to. I've invited people to come in and hang out. Washington Post, your video? Is that your Opening a new tab. I'll save that. I'll look at that in a minute, Jenny, or later, as soon as I can. Utilize something like Discord. You can coordinate your links. Yeah, Quentin, you're absolutely right, but this is completely impromptu. I just kind of got a bug up my ass and felt like having a chat. There was no notice. I'm connected with Discord. It's not mine. I'm in the Amy's Discord, if you know Amy. Um, so I can invite you to come hang out with in Amy's Discord and we can chat there. But Discord has terrible audio. I would really rather, if anybody wants to come and talk to me, I would rather do it through Google Hangouts or Skype. Those are the best audio connections that I have. Yeah, it's you. Everybody else seems to have sound. Yeah. So in 1918, they did an experiment where they tried to prove the infection of the Spanish flu, and they failed. They had 100 volunteers of healthy people, and they had sick people cough and breathe and talk within 2 inches of the volunteer open mouth. So they had 100 volunteers. They divided them into 3 groups. They were healthy people. And group number 1, they had a group of sick people sit so close within inches of their face. And the volunteer had to have their mouth open, and the sick person would speak and talk and breathe into their open mouth. And then the second group of 30 some people had their volunteer open mouth, sick people within inches literally cough and spit into their open mouth. And then the third group, they actually took blood samples, they took snot, and they took lung sputum, and they injected and infected and swabbed from one nose to the other body fluids. And you know what happened after 100 healthy people went through this fucking trial? You know what happened? One guy got the fucking sniffles. Okay? This is the Spanish fucking flu. One guy got the sniffles. And it was one of the guys who had a nose swab from a sick person. Like they took snot from a sick person and put it straight into the sinus cavity of a healthy person. And he got the sniffles. That's pretty much the result of this entire study. Out of 100 people, nobody got sick. One guy got the sniffles. So one guy got sick. So the bottom line to this is they absolutely could not prove transmission. So it wasn't a virus. It wasn't infectious. But if you look at the time frame, it was 1918. It was right after World War I. And that's when everybody's going home. Everybody's over cross borders. Everybody's moved around. Everybody moved over here and moved over there. They need nurses over here. They need soldiers over there. They need whatever. You're a truck driver, doesn't fucking matter. State news. What are you leaving me, Jenny? What is that? Headlines, easy to find. Specific studies are going to take me a minute. Yeah, if that's not a study, I'm not even going to look at it. If it's a headline, I don't fucking care. Adrian Chetwynd is with us. Tom Barnett's personal tests. No, I'm not aware of that at all, Adrian. You know what, Adrian? You've been around. You're a pain in the ass, but you're not a troll. Oh, okay, you're a little bit of a troll, but I can fuck you up anytime I want to. Be nice, Adrian. Don't attack anybody. You now have a wrench. Adrian, Tom Barnett's personal tests. Now that you have a wrench, you can leave a link. Elugio? Holy fuck, how come you're not a moderator? You've been around way long enough. So, Adrian, leave me a link. Now that you should have a wrench, Tom Barnett's personal tests. Please leave a link if you can get one. Let me see. Holy crap. Luzio. Do I have to type? I guess I have to type this because you can't hear it. So, at Illusio. Sound problem is on your end. Jesus Christ. Sound problem is on you, bruh. Yes, he is, Darth. Absolutely. And I know you guys saw his last video. It broke my fucking heart. I tried uploading it on YouTube, and you know what? I guess you saw, you maybe have seen. Those fuckers took it down, man. I mean, 5, 10 minutes. It was somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. They took that fucker down. It was enough time for me to like go and check something and come right back, and boom, it was already gone. I saw it on my channel. It uploaded. It was available to see. Some of my subscribers said that they saw it, and then I came back, and a couple minutes, literally a couple minutes later, a handful of minutes, boom, gone. Alzheimer's herpes plaques. Okay, let me see. I'll open that. I'll save that. I know Jenny and others and everyone else listening. Um, oh, you got Bluetooth? Okay, cool. I know that there are an awful lot of people running around, accredited people, established doctors, who are saying, look, we've looked and we've looked and we've looked, and we can't find anybody who has published anything to definitively show that viruses cause disease. And as far as I know, Stefan Lenka, the German virologist, this is happening right now as we speak. There's a $100,000 reward for anybody who can prove that there's a virus that causes measles. This has already been to the German High Court. They're equal to our Supreme Court in America, and it lost. The challenger had to pay the court costs and everything. He didn't get his 100 grand. He didn't prove it. So the Spanish flu, they did a big old test, published papers. They couldn't prove transmission. Stefan Lanka, $100,000 reward, or $100,000 whatever for anybody who can prove there's a virus that caused measles. Many have tried, all have failed. One went to the Supreme Court, it failed. There's a guy running around the internet right now. I haven't checked this version, but I'm sure Tom will miss. All right, chat. I'll put that one aside and look at it in a minute. Where was I? There's a guy running around the internet, and this happened a couple decades ago, around the 90s or so, shortly after the AIDS epidemic of the 80s. He's a doctor, and he gives a lecture in front of a room full of reporters and journalists and doctors, and he has an HIV positive patient standing next to him. And after he gives his lecture, he jabs the patient with a brand new needle out of a brand new package, and then he takes some blood inside the needle, and then he wipes the outside of the needle on the little blood droplet, so there's blood inside and outside the needle, and he jabs himself with that freaking needle to show how confident he is that there is no AIDS virus. There is no transmissible AIDS. He goes blood to blood. It's false. There is no AIDS virus. And the inventor of the PCR test, Kary Mullis, has said on record, on camera, that he tried and he spoke to Luc Montagnier, the guy who supposedly discovered the AIDS virus, because Kary Mullis was to write a paper. And the first part of this paper that he was writing stated that HIV is the probable cause of AIDS. And he said, well, I need a reference for this. And he started asking around, where's the fucking reference? And he couldn't find one. And he asked everybody, and nobody could give it to him. And everybody he went to in every conference, he said, for years, he said, for a couple of years, I tried to find the reference. He said, I searched the computer databases. I couldn't find it. Nobody could give it to me. And finally, I spoke to Luc Montagnier, the guy who supposedly discovered AIDS, or HIV, the virus. And he said, oh, go look at this other study where they fucked around with these monkeys. And Kary Mullis, after he looked at it, he was like, no, this doesn't show what this. No, this is not going to work. Okay, so there's two down. Spanish flu. Oh, we could go polio. Polio was a seasonal thing where they were spraying neurotoxic chemicals like lead and arsenic. Eventually, it became known as DDT, a pesticide, to get rid of the gypsy moth. In the 1930s, America was invaded with an invasive species of moth that was killing crops and trees, right? So they came up with a lead and arsenic-based pesticide, both of which are neurotoxins. Polio is a neurological disorder. Polio was also seasonal. It typically came around in the summertime. Oh, what else happens in summertime? Right, that's when we spray for bugs. Because moths don't hang around in the frickin' winter. So, and there are photographs and stories and articles where the spray trucks would go up and down the roads and they would spray that shit into the freaking neighborhoods. And there are photographs of children playing in the spray. They're inhaling it, they're swallowing it. This is a neurotoxin, lead and arsenic based pesticide. There was also a there was a recipe that people could make at home and spray on their own little vegetable gardens at home, and then feed their families that lead arsenic saturated fucking vegetables. So when they got rid of the pesticide, polio started to go away. And then, of course, they already knew, but they had a huge liability on their hands. And this is where the cartoon level evil genius comes in, because you take an enormous, massive financial and political and economic liability, and you turn that around, not to zero, but you turn it completely around into a windfall where now you can sell vaccines. Now you rush and you create this thing you call a vaccine, and you run around and you jab everybody with it, and somebody gets fucking paid for that. And then you can pat yourself on the back and you say, look, we got rid of polio. When the reality is, no, you didn't get rid of polio. What you did was you stopped fucking poisoning people. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to catch up on reading the chat. I was jabbering away there. So again, I don't know how many, what do we got watching? 20. Again, I'll throw it out there. If anybody wants to come in and chit chat with me, tell me why I'm wrong, tell me why I'm right, or change the conversation, say so in the side chat, and we'll figure out how to get connected. Okay, so what have we done? We've destroyed Spanish flu. We've destroyed polio. We've destroyed AIDS. We've destroyed measles. So now let's move forward to the COVID. I can do a screen share. I can show you the CDC paper that's published on the FDA census.gov website where they say that they have not isolated the virus. Now, that was published in July of 2020, and then it was updated in December of 2020. So as of 2 months ago, they still don't have the viral isolate. I will say that again. They don't fucking have it. So how can they have a test? So how can they make a vaccine? So how can they say that we know that there's a variant? And how can they say that it was created in a lab when they don't fucking have it? So all these stories that I hear about, oh, it was a bioweapon, there's this a gain of function technology, and it was created in a lab and it was released, and there's variants, and we got a test and we got a vaccine. I say fuck you to all that shit. None of it makes sense because basic epistemology, basic, basic fucking epistemology is prove your claim before you move forward. You can't go any further. If you say that there's a new virus, fucking prove it. Before you go on to have tests, before you go on to develop vaccines, before you go on with your news story bullshit about new variations, prove that the first one exists. Start there. You made the claim, burden of proof is on you. Vague assertions. No, it's not vague assertions. This is easily researchable. They were spraying DDT. That was the result of the invasive moth called the gypsy moth. DDT was lead arsenic base. Lead is a neurotoxin. Arsenic is a neurotoxin. You mix two fucking neurotoxins and you start spraying it directly on children. I'll show you the fucking pictures. I don't need to show you. You have fucking Google. You can go find the pictures. Children playing in the spray of the polio, of DDT, pesticide, 1930 something, 1940 something. I've seen the fucking pictures. I've heard the interviews of old people that said, yes, we played in the spray. Just like in the fucking Florida. If you ever been to Florida where the trucks run up and down the street and they spray for mosquitoes, they did the same shit for this goddamn gypsy moth. Well, Dave, either you showed up late or you need to fucking rewind and catch up. So I'm not going to argue with you individually. I've already stated the case. There's a $100,000 reward. If there's a virus that causes measles, go get your fucking $100,000. I'm not saying measles doesn't exist. I'm saying that there's a virologist in Germany who has a $100,000 reward for anyone who can prove that it's a virus that causes it. Okay? Dave? Are we clear? Measles is a disease. People get measles. That's a real thing. Citation needed, Quentin. I would love to see if you can prove that claim to me. Lanka paid Braden? Braden was paid by Lanka? Citation needed, please. Okay, I see a lot of statements and claims and assertions. I'm going to need some fucking citation, okay? Because I'm not going to take the word of somebody in my side chat. If you make an assertion, please provide me with a link to something that I can research and show that your claim is valid. If Lanka is wrong, then I'll shut up about it and I'll not say it again. I'll even delete this damn video just to get rid of that statement. What's a grift? Which one is a grift? Offering a reward for someone to prove something is not a grift. Okay? Stefan Lanka is not making money by offering a reward for someone to prove him wrong. That's not a grift. That's not how grift works as far as I know. All right, Quentin. Be nice. I'll give you a wrench. You got links? There's your wrench. Drop me a link. Rufus giveth, Rufus can taketh away. Be nice in the chat. Provide links. Don't be an asshole. And cool. Keep your wrench. Kaufman is a little bit of a grifter. I agree. He's got some high-priced shit that's a little bit on the woo-woo side. I do agree with you there. However, when he says that there is no fucking paper and they haven't isolated the virus, that's not false statement. That's not a grift. He's not making money on that statement. I mean, there's no paper out there. It's just not available as far as I can see. John Rappaport, uh, uh, Dr. Tom Cowan, Dolores Cahill, and a slew. I can't even remember how many doctors have looked into this. Legitimate doctors are out there in public, faces on camera, saying no, it's not isolated. Nobody has it. I could take you to the CDC and show you right now that they say with their own fucking words on their own recently updated website that we don't have the fucking virus. So let's just start there. Richie from Boston, don't even talk to me about Richie. I thought I got rid of you. Really thought I got rid of you. Do I have to ban you? All right, I'm going to put that one aside. What is that? Skeptics? StackX? Hang? What the fuck is that? The Oh, he won on appeal. So he won. So ultimately he won. So don't tell me he lost when he really won. What? What? The appeal was that he asked for just one and Barden offered 6. Ruled in his favor. Nah, I'm not buying that. I'll look into it, and I ain't got time to go reading that shit while I'm in the middle of a live stream. I will look at it. I've got it open in a fresh tab. That doesn't even make any sense. That they would rule against Stefan Lanka because the guy offered more information than he wanted. No, that makes no sense whatsoever. The CDC is culturing SARS-CoV-2. I'm not 100% sure on this, but the last I checked, that anytime they try to cultivate a virus, they wind up having to use cancer cells to culture the virus. When it comes to human cells, they use monkey kidneys and dog and bovine serum and shit in other cultures, but they have to actually use like fucking cancer cells, like damaged cells, in order to get their little experiment to work. They also have to add antibiotics and some other crap, and they have to starve that tissue, and all of which are known to produce exosomes. So that's a flawed test. So if that's how they're culturing the virus, that's bullshit. All right, Adrian, thank you for that. I forget which one it was. Shit. Adrian, I've got a bunch of tabs open from people that are leaving me links. I don't know which one you're telling me to ignore. Quentin, I'm on a fucking live stream. Do you want me to read every fucking thing that everybody drops me? If so, then you're third in line, I think. Where'd my damn mouse go? Come on, mouse. Where are you? Kevin, you got a wrench? Be nice. The Rufus giveth, the Rufus shall taketh away. All right, Quentin. Want me to read your... All right. Fuck it. Remind me, Quentin, just like I said to Chet. Remind me which one was yours. Which link did you give me? I've got 3 up here. I got a Pfizer had clues. I've got a 3D human brain-like tissue model of a herpes. Oh, Alzheimer's. And I've got a vaccine to Germany Supreme Court. There we go. How about we look at that? Is that the one you're talking about, Quentin? All right, I'm going to put that right here. I actually have to hit the restroom, so I will be back in 30 seconds. You guys chat amongst yourselves. And I'm back. And I'm looking at a page. And I need to go get a pack of cigarettes. I'm going to read a little bit of this. I can't see the chat, so if you guys are talking to me specifically in the chat, I can't see it. Let's have a look. Clean my glasses. What we got? Did Germany's Supreme Court rule that the measles virus didn't exist? What is this? Is this a paper or is this an article? What am I looking at? Oh, skeptics. StackExchange.com. This is an article. That's what this is. It's an article. So let's see what it says. Paul Fasser writes, in German Supreme Court upholds biologists' claim that measles virus does not exist. So there it is right there in the heading. German Supreme Court upholds biologists' claim that measles virus does not exist. German Supreme Court upholds this. At first, it appeared that he lost, but Dr. Lenke took his loss to a higher court. With more experts and the backing of 2 independent laboratories, he wound up not having to pay. It turned out that the, quote, proof provided was a composite of several different electron microscope images, and the composite involved different components of damaged cells. The composite could not be duplicated. The German Federal Supreme Court confirmed that there was not enough evidence to prove the existence of the measles virus. All right. Is there anything else you want me to read? Do you want me to read the rest of this entire... Am I supposed to read all this? Let me go back. Now I'm talking to the chat. I can see you now. Go to the selected answer below to see a timeline of the events and how they're being portrayed inaccurately. Go to the selected answer below. Is this... Am I looking at it? I don't speak German. Not that selected answer. Did I scroll too far? The selected answer below. So there's a tiny little blurb, barely a paragraph. The selected answer. I don't see anything selected specifically except for this, which I don't speak German. Never did any court justice in these cases uphold. This is a little bit of a bold, not selected. Never did any court of justice in these cases uphold, quote, that the measles virus didn't exist. To the contrary, publications by Barden were deemed by the judges and their expert consultants to provide the proof, but only when read together did they meet all the requirements as formulated by Lenke. When read together, but only when read together. So he didn't fucking isolate the virus. I mean, all you gotta do is follow Koch's postulates, isolate the virus, give it to a healthy patient, animal or human, instigate the disease with the same symptoms, and then re-isolate the virus. Koch's postulate. Pretty simple. Follow Koch's postulate. Ba-bing, bada-boom, bada-bang. Done. And I don't see anything else. There's lots of hyperlinks. I don't see anything specifically highlighted. So I don't know what you mean. Go to the selected answer below to see the timeline of the events. I don't want to brush over this too quickly, but I don't want to read this entire fucking shit. I mean, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to have a conversation, and hopefully somebody might want to come and join me. There's no such thing as a German Supreme Court. Oh, they have their version. Whatever. The Bundesgerichtshof, whatever the hell that pronunciation is, Federal Court of Justice, is the highest court, which the case was brought. Whatever. So fucking what? Semantics. Who cares? Dude, I'm sorry. I'm just not going to read this whole damn thing. and I'm not seeing what I think you want me to see. The timeline. Denial is Stephen Lanka promised to pay anyone provided the proof of measles. Soon after, Davis said 6 publications refused to pay, but it was sent to local court, sentenced. It was first sentenced to pay. So he appealed the decision and won. He won the appeal. Competition offer was for this. So just one scientific article that proves that measles exist. See there? That one. Just send me one article that proves it exists. It's not asking much. Barden sends 6. What? Although, for fear of jail, he did pay in the meantime. Really? Really? Sure they meant this challenge. Let's look at that. Oops. I should have opened that in a fresh tab. Yeah, I don't speak German. Did he actually pay? It looks like, well, I mean, it's an article. The article says he did. The chronology of the antics of this case up to that point are documented here. Very interesting, and thank you for this. I'm going to come back and dig deeper into that. I'm going to try and catch up with the chat. africacheck.org. I'm going to open that in a fresh tab. I'll look at it. I'm going to have to come. Oh my God, look at all these links. You guys, thank you. Holy shit. You got my work cut out for me now. I'm going to have to come back and look at all this. Never before has people actually backed up their fucking statements. Amazing. Yeah, chickenpox and measles parties are a thing. That's true. Virus that doesn't prove the virus theory. There's terrain theory has a alternate explanation for that. Just because, oh no, I'm sorry. No. You guys, I just can't read it. I can't read fast enough. Here's the correct timeline and judgment. What's up, Zero? A number of posts shared on Facebook claim that biologist and prominent anti-vaccination activist Dr. Stefan Lanka won a 2016 case in the German Federal Supreme Court that confirmed that there is no evidence that the measles virus exists. Anti-vaccination movements and vaccine hesitancies are linked to increased blah, 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 blah. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you, fuck you. Most of the posts link to similar articles, mostly published on Junk News and Quack, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. Oh my God. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Some say that the Anon HQ article was the original account. See, I don't fucking care. Just give me the facts. Fuck all this shit. Stop trying to slander everybody. I don't give a fuck. Don't care about Q. Don't care, don't care. Just give me the fucking facts. Spare me. Article says he offered a reward. Scientific proof existence of alleged measles. He had reportedly lost the bet and was ordered to pay up by a regional court, but a higher regional court with more experts and the backing of two independent laboratories ruled that the authors of the 6 publications which were submitted to prove the existence of measles virus were all wrong, the article says. It then claims that, as a direct result, all measles virologists are still wrong today. Okay, so it's a fucking article. They're talking about an article now. So what if the article is wrong? I don't care. It also says that the judgment was upheld. Higher court didn't question the existence of measles virus. Okay, so the first is the courts ruled that, according to the article makes a number of misinformed claims. First is that the courts ruled Lanka had won. According to Independent Pharmaceutical Journal, the higher regional court judges had files appeared did not doubt the existence of the virus. Okay, so the higher rule didn't doubt the existence. Well, that's weird. Okay, but they did say Lanka's challenge was neither a bet nor a competition, but an award. Only the promoter of the award, Lanka, could determine the rules and decide if its criteria had been met. Haha. Well, okay. But what's the bottom line? Okay. So it was a legal judgment that the court makes no assessment on the actual existence. That the court makes no statement on the existence or non-existence. Georgia's ruled, according to other facts such as the wording of Lanka's offer, when a specific publication was presented in existence of the measles virus is not only asserted and among other and also proven, but among other things, its size is determined. Well, Lanka, as stated, Lanka did put forward his criteria. He wanted one paper that could show, and it's not available. The would-be winner, David Bardens, submitted 6 different papers, none of which alone fit all of Lanka's requirement. All right, so now we're getting into the weeds. I'm gonna have to go deeper on this one. I am gonna go. I'm gonna follow up on this, but not right now because I can't read the chat, and I don't know what time is it. Holy crap! It's after 12:15. I'm gonna have to come back and check the side chat. Hey, Killendale, haven't seen you in a long time. I'll bet Killendale wants to come in and talk. Killendale, you want to come in here and talk to me? Better hurry up. I'm getting tired. It's amazing how on a Sunday night things on YouTube are just so incredibly different. It's a whole different crowd. My subscription feed is different. It slows down incredibly, my subscription feed. Oh, well, Kevin, is that McCairn? Are you really a PhD, Kevin? And I don't think I need you to walk me through Koch's postulates, but feel free if you're so inclined. How do I contact you online and walk me through the evidence? You want to come on and talk to me, Kevin? Artemis. So if I want to member list, how do I do this last time? I think I'm not sure. I wonder if I give you guys this link. No, that's Discord. Damn it. I don't want to do Discord. Here, I'll tell you what. Hit me at Rufus Cat. Just put a space. On Skype. That's really the best. It's either that or you give me your Gmail. You give me your Gmail and I can try to add you onto like a Google Hangout. That's the second best audio format for this purpose. All right, so if I start a conversation with Killendel, play recommended video. Oh crap, Adrian, which one? Did you recommend a video? Adrian, did you? Did you? I'm not seeing it. Here's a link I'll approve. BitChute, play recommended video. Alright, I'll tell you what. I'll play this video, and while the video is playing, better not get a goddamn copyright strike. 10 minutes.
Hey, I've had quite a few questions over the last few weeks, so I'm making this for my friends to clear a few things up. First and foremost, something you should know, you cannot catch a virus. And why can't you catch a virus? Because it's impossible. So why is it impossible to catch a virus? A virus is alive. Is a virus a living thing? So how is it that people think that you can catch something that is not alive? Now, I know a lot of people are genuinely concerned, so that's why I'm making this to hopefully cure.
Okay, I've seen this video, and I'm actually familiar with it, so I'm not trying to not play it. I'm not trying to censor it. I'm just letting you know that I have seen this man, Tom Barnett. I didn't know his name. Hey, Killendel, are you with me still?
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
I've been worse.
Yeah. You see the new Mike Lindell video?
Mike Lindell. Hang on, let me check my Skype. It looks like.
Check
I want to see. I want to make sure that this.
check BitChute for it. It's like an hour and some change long, dude. But it's like a big release right now, dude.
Hang on a second. There's Kevin McCairn. Kevin is contacting me on Skype. I'm going to accept, and I'm going to put that away, and I think I can add him, right? I should be able to add him to this call.
Should be, yeah. Let's see. More. In the upper right, there's a add people to the call, like person with a plus sign next to their head.
I've already hit it. I'm looking for Kevin right now.
Nice.
Should be on my list.
All right, cool.
I don't know why he wouldn't be on the top, because everybody else is like people I haven't talked to in forever. He's not on the top of my list. Let me try that again.
You might even be able to like search. Yeah, you can type in the name in the search bar.
Yeah, let me just refresh and try this again. How about Kevin? No, I want to get this guy in here. There he is, Kevin McCain. There he is.
There he is.
I was doing great freshman year, and then I was initiated into the force.
He should be in. Is he in?
Not yet.
I think I did it right. All right, Kevin. Slow down. Pump the brakes, Kevin. I've already accepted the invite. I've already tried to get you to come in. I don't know if I hit the phone button, will it call two people at the same time, or should I get him to join our conversation? What do you think?
I mean, you could maybe back it out and then call us both at the same time. That might work easier. If you want to try that. But I would think it should be easy enough to add them through the plus sign, but I've had problems with that in the past, so I don't know.
I mean, it's brand new. Our connection with me and him is like brand spanking new. It's still got the new car smell.
Oh, okay, so we don't know if this guy's like just faking us out, maybe?
No, it's just a matter of like getting all the computer stuff to update and work properly.
Oh, that's what you...
Because he's not on my list and shit. So I want to add... Here we go. Let's try this. There he is, Kevin. And I want to... There it is. Add. That should do it. That should do it.
Oh, of the McCairns. Holy shit. We got the Highlander.
Did that do it?
He's in, I think. He just might not be transmitting audio.
Oh, it's calling him.
Hello?
Yeah. There he is.
There he is.
There it is!
Welcome, Kevin.
Hello? Can you hear me?
I can.
What's up, Brosive?
I believe I'm in, if you can hear me.
You are in. I can hear you. Can you hear me back?
I think you can.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
Nice.
Give me, I don't know, 20 or 30 seconds, and I will return. I need to go get a fresh pack of cigarettes. I'm not going to lie. I'll be right back.
All right.
Wow. Wow. Now Kevin and I are just left to this. Alright. Alright then.
So who's Killendell?
I'm just some random guy.
Some rando? Some rando? So, was that you placing the Tom Barnett video?
No.
Right then.
Oh, he hit us with a jolly good accent.
That's bloody good. Are you Australian, New Zealand? What am I hearing?
English Scots.
I was hearing UK, yeah.
Okay, so where should we begin?
You tell me. Where have I gone wrong? Where did I start to go off the rails? You pick it up from there. It's up. The floor is yours.
So you can begin with the Stefan Lanka grift, if you like. So he tried to claim that no one has imaged or proved the existence of measles virus. He was forced to pay.
All right, I'm gonna interrupt you, and I don't mean to be rude.
No,
but let's go ahead and set our definitions.
Mm-hmm.
What did he actually ask for? How about we start there?
Proof of the existence of the measles virus, isolated measles virus.
proof of the isolated measles virus.
Hmm.
And if I'm not mistaken, it also was contingent
Like,
on the fact that this particular quote unquote virus was the cause of measles.
Yes.
Okay. So
like you mean
proof,
like a picture of the microbe under an electron microscope?
Yep. Which there are plenty.
whoa. I would like to see Stefan Lanka's actual request or his actual criteria
Okay.
because I don't know about you, but I'm no virologist, but I'm not fucking dumb enough to say just because you got a picture doesn't prove that that is a viral contaminant, that that is an outside pathogen that causes disease. I mean,
Well,
I can show you a picture of a unicorn, I can show you a picture of a virus, and I can also show you scientific pages and studies and books by some top people out of Johns Hopkins that say that viruses and exosomes are indistinguishable. You can't tell them apart in form and function.
well, that's again, that's a misappropriation of a quote there. These are all calumnies made by Andrew Kaufman and people picking up on his grift. I've taken apart his arguments multiple times, and I think it probably better just to stick current with SARS-CoV-2. The data is much more current. We can, but the point with Stefan Lanka is that he had to pay, and then he tried to appeal it in the High Court. He appealed it in the High Court, and the court said that they can't adjudicate on the scientific evidence. What they said is that it was his competition, and therefore he could set the criteria as he liked. So it didn't. It's
Okay.
essentially
Okay, fair enough. I understand, and I totally understand. So, if the German High Court ruled that Stefan Lanka, since it was his competition, that he had the bar, he was allowed to set that bar, his criteria had to be met. What was his actual criteria? I don't want a synopsis, I want the actual criteria.
well, let's see if we can find a word for word.
I mean, before you and I go arguing about shit that
Yeah, I mean, I like the Lanka stuff. I just know the court adjudication, which is that he has the right under German law to set the rules of the competition because
Sure.
it's his money,
Sure,
his
sure.
competition.
Okay,
Right.
I get all that. I
So
get all that.
so the German court didn't rule on the existence of measles virus.
I get it. I totally get that, and that's, you know what, that's fair. For a court to do something like that, I would call that fair.
I just gotta ask,
Now we
what
have-
are we arguing though? Like it seems like a highly hyperbolic kind of arbitrary.
I'm trying to drill down.
Your daddy's talking now, Kevin. Sorry about that.
Killendale, I'm trying to drill down on whether or not Stefan Lanka, with his so-called competition or award, reward, whatever you call it, I'm trying to drill down on whether or not the measles virus was actually proven to be a virus was actually proven to be the cause of measles. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't care whether how the court ruled. What I really want to know, I mean, it's interesting that the court ruled in that way, and I think that was fair on their part. But that doesn't answer the question of, does a virus cause measles? The court didn't rule on that, apparently.
Okay, and just one last question before we proceed. Is there some other driving motivation behind this other than just splitting a hair for the fact's sake and really getting like in there and like understanding something at another level?
Yes, I'm trying to understand the difference between germ theory and terrain theory. This is all part of my own journey of discovery. Because I'm hearing not only Andy Kaufman, but Dr. Tom Cowan, I'm hearing John Rappaport, and I don't have them on the top of my head, but there's a whole slew of other doctors and people and researchers and reporters and out there that are saying the same thing, that we've looked and we've searched databases that we cannot find anybody that has isolated according to the gold standard, any virus has actually been isolated.
So
True, truly
what do you take to be the gold standard?
Koch's postulate, and you said you wanted to walk me through it, so the floor is yours. Tell me what I don't know.
I can walk you through it. Can we share a screen?
If you know how to use Skype, you can share a screen. The floor is yours.
Okay.
Tell me what I don't know about Koch's postulates.
You're thinking that a virus hasn't been isolated and transfected into an animal to prove the existence of SARS-CoV-2.
As far as I know, that's not been shown to occur.
I will demonstrate that to you plenty.
Oh, and did you just say SARS? Are we talking about
Yeah,
SARS-CoV-2?
I'll do SARS because
That's fine. Okay,
right, it's more current, and that's
that's fine.
basically the reason people know about Stefan Lanka is because quacks like Kaufman have come on and they've tried to sort of bolster claims, and they'll use, like you said, like you were thinking that the German court upheld that viruses don't exist, where
No.
it's not the case. So I think it better to use why this has suddenly popped up into the consciousness of the internet.
I didn't go. Just to be clear, I didn't go that specific. I was literally upholding that the courts ruled in favor of Lanka.
Well, and then that would mean that viruses didn't, or measles virus didn't exist.
That's the implication. Yes, that is the implication.
And so they were very specific in saying that they can't rule on that. All they can do is say it's his money, it's his rules. He can do what he's like, and basically he did the equivalent of take his ball home.
Well,
Right.
again, I'll ask, and I know you want to focus on SARS because that's the most current stuff that you have or that we have, and that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
I mean, it's like I just want to get something up on screen to walk you through, and give you the lowdown with what's.
Just don't show me cartoons.
No, I'll not show you cartoons. It'll be proper published databases. Data and.
What's wrong with cartoons, man? Sometimes they're really good.
Hey, I watch reruns of South Park too, man.
I mean, just because it's animated doesn't mean it's not, accurately depicting some information.
I'm just loading up PowerPoint right now. All right, so we can even do it in.
You've got a whole PowerPoint prepared on this?
Yeah, I do this every day, dude.
So Kevin, are you a legitimate PhD?
Yeah, just type my name into Google. You'll see.
Oh, okay. What am I expecting to see?
Published science from me. It'll. Yeah. The first thing you see on Google is usually the right thing about an individual, and if it comes up that I'm a criminal of sorts, usually that's the.
Pardon me, but I'm not looking at the other. I'm on my typing in the search box screen. So spell your last name.
MCCAIRN.
Principal investigator, Korean brain something.
Yep, that's me.
UK, LinkedIn.com. There's you on Twitter. ResearcherGate.net.
That's a good one. Click that one.
ResearcherGate.
Mm.
You got an IMDb. Are you an actor?
No, that's from being on Stefan Molyneux's podcast.
Oh my God, Stefan Molyneux.
I hate that guy.
You just poisoned the well, bro.
I love him and I hate him, honestly. He's alright by me.
Oh, aren't you a cutie tootie? Hats and glasses.
Yeah.
Kyoto University, Kyodai Primate Research Institute, PhD.
Yep, that's me.
You don't shock monkeys, do you?
I'll show you how I peel them inside out.
Hey, hey,
You savage.
shock the monkey. All right, Kevin, what do you got for me?
All right, let's.
Are you
let's
sharing?
do
Let
it.
me go back. Hang on.
Yeah, I'm sharing screen with you.
All right, hang on. I'm not on Skype. Hang on. Let me go back. Right, what you got then?
All right, so let's just go here.
Oh, even with my readers, I think you're going to need to zoom in on that. Where did they go? I had fucking reading glasses. Where'd they go? All right, what we got then?
All right, so that's me. That's what you just checked, ResearchGate.
What is ResearchGate? What is that?
It's sort of aggregator of public information that you can track down any researcher, and then it sort of gives a metric of their scientific output. That's what that number is, 24.81. And below that,
this isn't your website.
no.
It's an aggregator of information of other papers.
Yeah. Below that, you can see how many citations I've got, how many people have come to the website to read papers, etc., etc. So that just.
Can you expand that and zoom a little bit? Even with my readers, that's tough.
I mean, I would just say you could look at the website itself. That's just a snapshot of the website. That's all that's on there. So anyone else can. That's my contact down there as well. Twitter, website.
How old are
if
you?
you want to get. How old am I? Old. Oh, much older than that picture. So I'm going to move on. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So, if you want to come at cock, you better be a hard cock, right? So,
cool meme, dude.
Cool meme indeed, and that's from our Mr. Cracker, beloved Mr. Cracker. So let's begin with some of the medical history. This is what Andrew Kaufman likes to tout as the paper. So this is where he's sort of trying to. So remember that Andrew Kaufman is a psychiatrist, and just so we can be sure, let me just play on the screen something for you.
No, I'm aware, but go ahead for my audience or whoever's paying attention. If they don't know, feel free. I'm not going to censor you at all.
So
just keep in mind that I am listening to you, and it's difficult to listen to you and read at the same time. But go ahead.
That's fine. So you just have to listen to this bit.
No, go ahead. No audio on my end.
Same.
You don't hear it?
No, yeah. I don't.
Let's see what we can do. I can give you the link. Let's go to. I'll send it via Skype. I hope this should open it for you.
Drop the if you can. Hopefully you've got a tab open. I don't know if you use Mac or whatever, but if you can, drop a link in the side chat so that anybody in the side chat, if they want to, they can check it and for themselves. That would be great.
Yep. There you go. All done.
All right. So now I got to get out of the Skype window. If you want me to play it, I got to go out of the Skype window to go do it.
It's a couple of seconds long, just so you know the type of people that you're dealing with.
I'm going to click the last link that you dropped. Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Discord.
It's off center and I can't adjust it, I don't think. Oh, yep, I can. Wait a minute. It just took me to my own page. You dropped the wrong link.
No, I don't think so. See, click it again. So it's loading down a movie for you in the bottom left. It says Andrew Kaufman MP4, bottom left of your browser. I can see it on your screen.
Oh, I'm downloading this MP4. Okay, got
Mm.
it.
You know, I've never done virus research.
Okay. Is that all it was? I've never done virus research, Andy says.
Yep. So let's establish that, okay?
But he has done virus research. I mean,
No, he hasn't. He's lying about his degree from MIT. He doesn't have a molecular biology degree from MIT.
wait, he said he had a molecular biology degree from MIT?
Yep. He doesn't.
How do I search that? Not that I'm going to do it right now, but I am interested because I had one other friend of mine say, "Look, I can't find this guy. I want to know how do I search for myself? How does my audience, if they want to take the initiative, how do we go and find out for ourselves? Does this guy or does he not have a degree from MIT? How do we do that? Where do we go?
You can contact MIT like we did, and you can get the
Contact what?
email.
Via email?
Yeah, and you can get I'll show you the email I got from MIT on the screen. He's a lying, grifting scumbag that wants to charge people $1,000 an hour while people are dropping dead and being maimed by a lab-made agent that both the US and China had a hand in making.
Bill
So,
Gates. I wouldn't say the U.S. Bill Gates, brother.
I'll say the US, dude. It's
Bill Gates has been funding this shit since like 2000. He's been putting his money into our politics. It's not necessarily the people wittingly doing such a thing.
So Defense Threat Reduction Agency, Department of Defense, Health and Human Services, National
Who
Institute
other than
of
like an
Allergy.
$11 billion fucking multi-million like scumbag like Bill Gates would push these agendas through the government? Like everyday people like this think vaccines are a good thing.
Well, that's was kind of straying from the point, but
hang on, Kevin. I'm still seeing the original screen, the establishing Koch postulates for SARS with the two X-rays. Not. So if you're showing me something else, I'm not seeing it.
I'm just looking for the email from MIT. Wait a second.
Yeah, please share everything that you can. I'm interested, and I know that my audience is interested. And I want to be fair. I mean, if you've got it, then lay it out, bro.
Yeah, give me a second.
And thank you, by the way.
No, you're more than welcome. Like I said, I do this every day. Every soul matters.
And I just said what I said, meaning like vaccines I think can be done healthily, but what like Bill Gates is doing, he's trying to depopulate the planet with them.
You know, Killenell, I mostly agree with you. I mean, the smallpox inoculation from the handmaids or the milkmaids who developed cowpox, that was a real thing, as far as I can tell.
I'm not saying there aren't like legitimate vaccines, legitimate things to vaccinate against. I'm saying Bill Gates is like trying to kill and maim the population through like soft kill techniques with vaccines.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who looks at Bill Gates for 5 seconds can figure out that that guy is a fucking eugenicist. He wants to kill people.
Yep.
I'm just.
Take your time, Kevin.
Yeah.
Just hurry up. It's almost 1 o'clock my time.
I watched a bone-chilling documentary for like 3 minutes about Bill Gates, and the guy was like, I don't know Bill Gates, this clever fucking tech guy. I know Bill Gates, the cutthroat entrepreneur who will like rob you blind, steal your ideas. Like, goes in like this crazy little explanation. Dude.
Right.
I'm just removing some identifiers for.
You know, even if we just forget the fact that Bill Gates.
All right. So this is So look at the bottom part of what I'm showing on the screen. So this is in response in relation to your question, email body. Here is a copy of your
Thank you
request.
for contacting the Department of Distinctive Collections, MIT Laboratories. From somebody that you're blocking out.
So,
Why are you blocking out the
So
name
the
and
question-
email? Why did you do that?
Because this person doesn't want to be. It's just the person that made the inquiry to MIT. Okay.
Oh, all right. It's the person
Okay.
who made the inquiry. All right.
So did MIT offer a Bachelor of Science in Molecular Biology in 1995 was the question, which is when Kaufman says he got his degree from MIT in molecular biology. Okay. And it then goes on to say, thank you for contacting the Department of Distinctive Collections of the MIT Libraries. We checked the degree programs listed in the course catalogues below, and the MIT School of Science offered degrees in biology only in 1995. As is still the case. So there's still no molecular biology. There's now a computer science and molecular biology.
So Kaufman has education in biology or a degree in biology, but not molecular biology.
Maybe biology, but they won't comment on individuals, so that we can just check the course. Okay, and
wait. They won't comment on individuals.
Yeah, you have to.
We're asking specifically about an individual.
Yeah, I know that, but that's the way they have to work. So they won't give you. They'll tell you if someone was a student or not, but they won't tell you degrees and stuff like that. So when he says he has a molecular biology degree,
they
all
cannot
we can do,
confirm or deny.
Yeah, that's what you just admitted by what you said, dude.
Yeah. So they won't tell you about a person, right? You'd have to be like accredited. So another
they
university.
do admit that he was a student in biology.
So we didn't ask that. We were asking so he may have a degree in biology. We don't know that, right? He might do. But does he have a degree in molecular biology? No.
That's something like a game of telephone could have easily fucked, man. Like I wouldn't say that's like a shot to the bulletproof vest that got through.
No, but it's again, you have to. He would come on and talk about his molecular biology degree, and then as we chased him down and caught him in the lie, he's had to walk it back. So
wait, please bear with me. I'm trying to read and listen to you at the same time. You said you chased him down and caught him in a lie. Which lie did you catch him in?
That he has a molecular biology degree from MIT.
And this, what I'm looking at right here, does not confirm or deny that.
It's so on his Facebook, he said molecular biology degree MIT.
Okay.
1995.
Okay, and how do we confirm or deny that?
So I guess you have to see if his Facebook is still up. Well, it's changed now.
I don't care about whether he made the statement. I agree. I can accept that he made the statement. How do we confirm that the statement is true?
That he has a molecular biology degree?
Yeah, how do we confirm or deny that? Yeah.
So he says he graduated MIT in 1995. Okay, so the question is, did MIT offer a Bachelor of Science in Molecular Biology in 1995? Their answer is no. The only thing to do with biology was a standard biology undergraduate degree.
Oh, I see what you're saying here. Okay, MIT School of Science offered degrees in biology only in 1995, as is still the case. Course catalog, Massachusetts Technology, 1994, 1995. So you can't graduate in 1995 if that was the only year they offered it. You would need more than that to actually have a degree. Is that what you're trying to say?
They just don't do a degree in molecular biology. They've never done a degree in molecular biology, undergraduate degree.
All right, so first you're saying they don't even offer a degree in molecular biology. And the other thing I'm noticing is this says that they offer a degree in biology only in 1995. It says 1994 to 1995.
They're just showing you the course catalog.
That's only 1 year. So
Yeah,
even
that's the
so
so
even
every year when you go to a university, you'll get a prospectus from a university for that academic year, right? And here what they're showing you is the link to the course catalog for 1994 to 1995 and 1995 to 1996, because someone might say that they entered the university or they were at MIT in 1995 and graduated in 1995, but if they entered in 1995, they wouldn't have graduated in 95. That's why they've given two.
so this response tells me nothing as to whether or not this degree of in biology when it began. It only
Just that
says
they
that we offered it in 1995, as is still the case. That doesn't
right.
mean that
So
they started in 1995. It says we offered degrees. I mean,
That could be loosely interpreted to
maybe I'm
infer that
being a
that's the first
pedantic.
graduating
Yeah, I
class.
don't want
Yeah.
to be a pedantic asshole, but I'm just trying to figure out when did they fucking start this degree program.
oh, well, you'd have to ask the specific question. You could probably Google that, and it'd probably say 1860 or something. But it's a standard biology degree undergraduate in the US is a you don't get the specializations in the US undergraduate degree market. It's a biology or physics or something like that. You don't come out with a bachelor's in optical physics, right, or laser physics or nuclear physics. You come out with, you have to do your PhD, and then your PhD will be in a discipline like molecular biology. So they say so.
Okay.
That's his. So there's another lie, right, for you to take into account. Okay, let's get on with the presentation. So he likes to use this paper. So when he says he's read all the papers, he's looking at this paper, novel coronavirus in patients with pneumonia in 2019. And then he wants to say that they didn't establish Koch's postulates, and he wants to say that there's a big gotcha in this paper. So in January or December and January of 2019, the patients started to fill the hospitals in Wuhan, and they...
Wait, did you just say January or December?
Oh, it goes back even further than that. This publication was January.
I just want you to be clear. Just start over and say that again.
All right. So patients started to fill Wuhan hospital officially end of November, beginning of December.
Okay.
This publication that you're looking at right now, which is called a brief report in the New England Journal of Medicine, titled "A Novel Coronavirus from Patients with Pneumonia in China, 2019." Okay.
Okay.
So then what you're looking at the control sample of plates. So I think these are they are taken from patients who'd undergone esophageal surgery. So they've cultured these cells, and one is the control, and then the other is where they've transfected the mucus from a infected patient from the who had the pneumonia, and you can see what looks like a meteor crater.
I see a distinct circle.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's called a cytopathic lesion of those cells, and in that region, okay, if we go to the next page, you can do scanning electron microscopy, and on the left-hand side, you can see isolated SARS virions, okay, with the classic crown-like features. That's the spike glycoproteins. That's not a computer image. That's
okay. Electron microscopy. Got it.
Okay. And
however, I will grant that that's what you say it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's all, because what I'm looking at is a picture.
Yeah,
right?
Well, it's the same with anything. You'd have to go to.
Not really.
I don't know.
I mean, a picture of a black guy walking down the street doesn't mean he's the guy who robbed the shop. Show me a video of him walking in with a gun in his hand. You know what I mean? That's the difference I'm talking about. You can show me a picture of an exosome, and they, as far as I know, exosomes match up identically with what we call viruses.
No, I'll show you a picture of an exosome. So they're roughly the same size, but they don't have the spike glycoproteins that you would see. But you'd have to use electron microscopy to look at one. But they tend to be spheroidal in nature with no spike glycoproteins. I'm just pulling one up now.
I have a quick question
Sure.
for Rufus. Are you at some level rejecting the possible threat of a microbial virus concept theory? You think that could possibly be its own conspiracy? Or?
I'm not rejecting it. Yes, I admit that it might be a conspiracy. What I'm waiting for, just as an atheist waits for proof of God, I'm waiting for definitive proof.
Okay.
And it's unfortunate because I'm just one guy, and somebody like this kind gentleman Kevin has to take his time and walk me through it, one at a time, one person at a time.
Well, the amount of mastery you're going to have to get through society, because we're at such an evolved state, is going to be pretty high to not lean on any ledges of trust with your brothers and sisters, because this is a field of expertise that takes a highly contextualized
and therein
amount.
lies the problem. And therein lies the problem.
Why is that?
Because not everybody has the time to do what we're doing right now, to go dive as deep as we can.
Because we're ants in an ant colony, and maybe you're more a philosopher type,
And certainly I don't have 4 years or 8 years or 12 years. I don't know how much time Kevin has spent on this stuff, but like any, virology trained virologist, like I said in the beginning of the stream, I don't know if Kevin was here, my wife is a retired virologist, but she's not actually a trained virologist. She's got a degree in biology, and she worked in a virology lab for 26 years. So there's a divide going on here. There's a nuance
also at
happening.
some level there's some trust in the fact that when virologists were probably first getting their legs, that it was just this plant does this bad thing, and then eventually we synthesized the chemicals of the plant and we figured out, I don't know exactly how to describe that shit, but we figured some shit out about it. And then we kind of hypothesized, and that's a large part of what goes on with science and space and fucking quantum physics.
Sure, with all that we know these days, everything has branched into specialties, and we have so much freaking knowledge these days. So a new person entering any field, it's a huge pain in the ass to walk this one individual through the entire fucking process, rather than give him a job and say, look, here's the job, trust us, this shit works, add this to this. If it turns yellow, it's positive, move forward. If it turns green, you're contaminated, stop and start over.
We certainly can't have everybody doing that, because at some point you got the whole world getting fucked in the ass by a handful of corporations.
But in a way that happens a lot, because my wife retired 26 years, and I asked her, have you ever even seen a virus with an electron microscope? She says, we had one microscope on campus. I never looked through it in 26 fucking years. My wife.
Yeah, but what was your wife's job?
My wife was quality control for the chicken vaccine industry for Merck.
Okay. So she's in a corporate lab.
Yes.
And she's probably, if it's quality control, if she's hands-on, I'm guessing she's transfecting rodents or some test animal with the vaccine.
A lot of chicken embryos.
Yeah, so in that case, she's looking at the manufacture, and then they're probably doing some sort of titer
I heard
with
the word
respect
titer
to
a lot.
Yeah.
From her.
Okay. So she looked at the TIDA results, and she's not the PhD, right? She's
No,
the
absolutely not. She has a degree in animal science. So she's got a lot of biology behind her. And they gave her a job and they sat her down and they said, you add this liquid to that liquid. If it turns colors, bloom, move forward or not.
yeah. So
So she was a
that
lab
sounds.
rat. She wasn't a trained virologist.
Hmm. Okay, so
I wouldn't hardly ever use that phrase. Yeah.
yeah,
I know, I
that's
know. I've already been challenged, and that's why I'm making the distinction now. I'm making it very clear.
right. So your wife worked in an industry that supported. I guess I hope you have children. It supported you and your children,
Oh, well,
and
we don't have children.
well, okay. Supported your extravagant lifestyle and
Not very extravagant.
but you
She was a lab
you
rat. She made like $26 an hour. It was a good living, but not by any means extravagant.
right, so but there was an industry there, right? And
She had
so
a
it
fucking
was a
job. That's all I know.
yeah, so there was money coming backwards and forwards, etc., etc. So you can there's some base in reality. You knew your wife went out the door in the morning and she came back of an evening tired and cranky, and that went on for 26 years. Okay, so and you presume she worked at the same place, doing the same thing.
I presumed as much. She could have worked for the CIA as far as I know, and she could have been a fucking secret assassin.
Right.
I don't fucking know what she did when she
You got to
left the
wonder
house.
with these government lab types too,
I don't know
man.
what she did when she left the house.
Well,
All I know is she talked about titers a lot.
yeah. So TIDA would be a big deal. Anyway, there's an image for you that's raw data, right? That experts would look at. If you operate a electron microscopy device, you would be able to tell whether it's the real deal or not, or CGI potentially, and etc. etc. Okay, I've looked through electron microscopes. Seems legit to me. I haven't looked at viruses through electron microscopes, but I've seen cellular structures to the right, like that, neural structures.
So
Okay.
I have to interrupt you. I got a burning question.
Sure.
You just said that you look through electron microscopes.
Mm-hmm.
Have you spent a fair amount of time doing that?
It depends relative to what.
A fair amount of time. I don't know. Have you spent a couple of hours in the course of years? Could you add up all the time with you had your eyeballs in one of those things? Could you add up a few hours? Weeks? You could say weeks. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. Excellent. So now answer this question, please. Have you ever seen what you thought was a virus particle enter a cell?
No. When you're looking under an electron microscope, you're looking at essentially frozen images, right?
Oh, you don't get any video on a really?
No, it's static because you've coated everything in a osmium.
So you get images and nothing else.
Images, nothing else.
Can you take successive images in short periods of time?
Yes. I will show you.
Can you create a stop motion video out of successive videos? And can you show a fucking virus entering a cell is what I want to know.
Well, I'll show you an isolated virus, and we'll go through it slice by slice.
Okay.
But it's not the virus behaving per se. So this is the thing with the sciences in general. You're going to have to use multiple techniques to arrive at a conclusion, right? So going from the argument between Beauchamp and Pasteur to coming to the realization that there are infective particles smaller than bacteria, to then going on to using the first electron microscopes to identify the first viruses, to then using molecular techniques to classify the genes of viruses. So we use a combination of methods to bring you to, or to bring us to a probability of that being what it is, the hypothesis that it's a virus or not.
All right.
Okay.
You're like my new best friend right now, but you just fucking poisoned the well. You used the word probability.
Yeah. So everything in science is a probability, right? That's how
All
it
right.
works.
Oh, okay. I see where you're
No,
going.
no, not everything in science is a probability.
Yeah, every hypothesis is a probability. So every experiment, you have a null and your working hypothesis, right? And then you answer that with respect to a statistical weighting. And so you sample and sample and sample, and then you see if you've got a pattern in the data, and then you compare it to a control, and then you pick the appropriate statistical test to prove to other people that you've got something beyond chance.
Well,
Right? If you drop it, if you drop something, you know that it's going to fall to the ground, right? And you can say that there's a 99.999, and you could go out to however many sigma, but there's going to be one chance across time where probably it doesn't fall down. Right? We don't know that, so that's the whole point of the scientific.
Well, I dropped
process
a helium balloon the other day, and it did not fall down.
Right. So that just tells you that sometimes that rule doesn't work, right? So it's not 100%. So that's what science is. It's about establishing beyond reasonable doubt. Okay.
Yes, and it's always open to revision. That's the standard model of science. It's science is that's a process. It's a method. Science doesn't tell us anything. It is simply a method.
Yes. Yes. So we'll go through. I mean, so to establish Koch's postulates for SARS-CoV-2 is essentially a multi-step process. First, we have to be sure that we're dealing with a pathogen, right? So first, you have to get some sick people,
or
right?
Animals.
So this was. Well, yeah, we'll get, and that's what I mean. So, thankfully, we don't live in the age of Joseph Mengele anymore, and we don't use human beings as
that's debatable.
Well, we try not to. Okay, we try not to. So, in China, we started to get some sick people, and they presented with pneumonia-like symptoms, and then we took a sample from the patients, and then we began the tests. Right, it's a bunch of tests that we do to try to get to the bottom of what it is that we're dealing with. Is it bacterial pneumonia? Is it fungal pneumonia? There's many ways that you can have pneumonia. Pneumonia is just a condition, right? So they're trying to find out what's wrong with these patients. That's what you're going into the hospital for. Okay. So they go into the hospital. They take a bronchial lavage from these patients, okay, and they do standard testing on it. Okay, so they culture for bacteria and they culture for viruses, and in this instant they culture for viruses, and then they see in their data something that looks like a viral particle when you do electron microscopy. So now you've got another data point that says we're along the path to understanding something here. So we've got a virus particle, but what virus? There are many virus particles, or it could be an exosome, right? That you're looking at. You could be looking at particles coming out of a cell, but so there are multiple disciplines to bring with you to help you sort of pass through data, and one of those is morphology. So exosomes per se do not have large spike glycoproteins sticking outside of them, which this virus does. And so if you compared a Ebola virus to a SARS virus, they look radically different.
Right.
Okay. And so you can look at the shape as a kind of determinant to say, okay, what type of class of virus are we looking at? Okay.
Okay.
So that makes sense to you, right?
Yes.
Okay, so they've done this initial test and they see what looks like a coronavirus. Okay, and I'm actually I don't have the correct. Is this gonna? Well, I wanted to show other slides from that paper. Let me just pull that paper up. Give me a second.
I'm not going past 2 o'clock.
What time is it now?
1:15.
1:15.
You got 45 minutes, and no matter what, as much as I enjoy this conversation and I wish you would have joined me sooner, I do have to work tomorrow.
All right. So what I will do is I will say to you that, so can you accept that they've taken this sample from a human and they've seen what looks like a virus? Does this seem credible to you?
No. What I see is a photograph. I cannot accept where it was come from. I'm not going to say that I agree that it came from this specific location, because all I see is a photograph. I see no other evidence as to its origin.
Okay, so this is again, like your friend was saying, at some point we have to, when it's out of our domain, we're reliant on experts, right? So I don't know what it is that you do for a living, but
I'm a contractor,
if you're
but
a contractor, but
I'm no dummy.
If your head gasket blows, you'll take it to the garage to fix rather than trying to do it on your driveway, right? Because you'd rather an expert do it than you do
I
it.
understand what you're saying. There are some things that I would prefer somebody who knows more than me to handle the job. I'm the kind of guy who can do a lot of things, but I understand what you're saying. Go ahead.
Okay.
Can I say something to Rufus's defense here, and why I understand Rufus might have these deeper questions about this? Because this is about something that's fundamentally like the boogeyman. And when governments or like medical professionals can stand in front of people and say, "Oh, beware of the boogeyman. We got a fresh round of boogeyman. Keep them away is coming out. Make sure you guys buy and subscribe and tend to the next year of boogeyman keepaways." One does kind of have to like ask for themselves what is really going on here. And so while we do have to kind of lean on expert knowledge, because we ourselves just probably don't have the fucking time to get the experiential knowledge to know for a fact.
Well, again, you have to take all factors into account, right? So I know people I speak about on my stream every day, World Economic Forum, Bill Gates, all these types of things. So we go through them piece by piece and weighting them up as a probability. And look, it's obvious to everyone right now that we're not in Kansas anymore. Something very big is happening in the world right now that's not a normal flu season. Okay?
So let me just piggyback real quick on what Killendale just said. Basically, what we're doing is, if we have to rely on the quote-unquote experts, because we all have to, as John Taylor Gatto says, we got to mow the lawn and burp the baby. We ain't got time. Okay, most of us don't have time for this. So if we have to rely on these experts, to piggyback on what Killendale just said, the quote-unquote experts that we have at our disposal to rely on, for the most part, come from known liars. Okay.
Yeah, and
government and media are
I spend my time. Yeah, I spend my time weighing up each one of these people.
Sorry.
Yeah, that bong hit was too much for you, dude. Might mute it. And that's what I spend my time doing, right? Is to say to people, "Here's my credentials, okay?" And I will walk people through. I don't ask for. I'm not Andrew Kaufman asking for $1,000 an hour. Okay, and I will walk everyone. I'll take my time out to walk someone who has legitimate questions and walk you through what it is that you think that you feel uncertain about. A healthy skepticism is a good thing to have, right? Because you don't want to be taken for anybody's fool.
Thank you.
But you want to be. You don't want to spend your time going down rabbit holes such that you're losing your mind.
Right.
And when I tell you that you're in the middle of an information war, you're pawns in that information war,
I
You better
believe you.
believe it.
I absolutely believe you.
Right. So and there are, you have to wonder how come someone like Andrew Kaufman got signal boosted so far so quickly
Oh,
at
I've
the
already
beginning of a
thought that.
pandemic.
Yep. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, anyway, so there's lots of things about him when you start digging in, that he's a liar, he's a paid, whatever you want to call it. But there's lots of things that don't add up in his story. Okay, you can do the same. You can try to do the same things with me. Okay, and then see if you get the same result. So you want to feel the fiber of my fabric, as it were,
Right.
and see who seems more honest and reliable in the long term. And also, you want to make sure that you're not having the jackboot of tyranny being stomped on your face, right? And I would put this to you, that we spent so long looking out for government tyranny that we lost sight of where the real tyranny. So essentially, what would corporate? So we've gone into the Huxley Brave New World
Yep.
techno fascism rather than the gritty Orwell jackboot. Okay, so it's just
Fair
a different
enough. I'm
jackboot
with
on
you.
your
I'm
your
with you.
face right now.
I'm with you every
Okay.
step.
And so there are, I agree that there are people, scientists as well, who will do things that are unethical for money and power, right? I spend a lot of my time pointing out who those people are. Okay. So I can, with a degree of confidence, tell you that I would concur that that image looks like it's from electron microscopy. That's just the first data point. Okay.
Well, okay, I can agree. That's absolutely what it looks like. And before we go further, Kevin, do us all a favor. Do me a favor. Do my audience a favor. Do you have a YouTube channel?
I do. Just
Plug it
Google my name, Kevin McCann.
on YouTube.
And actually, I did a stream about just plug in Kevin McCann, my name. I'll pull the channel up now. I did a stream about
Kaufman go ahead and
today.
drop a link to your channel in the chat, please go ahead.
I will do.
But go ahead, finish what you're saying.
I'm
loving
we
this
have
right
a data
now.
point. We have a data point with this electron microscopy.
Okay.
Right. That's it. So we have some publications and something approximating a piece of data that says that fits with people getting ill. So you're noticing a change in your environment. Something's happening in the environment in China, far away, and normally you would think nothing of it because the flus always come from China, etc. Blah blah blah. And no one would think about it otherwise. Okay. So we start to see the medical and scientific literature respond to hospitals that are full of doctors and scientists that will take this data and write it up. Okay, so that's that slide. It's not the full detailed slide that I wanted, but let me just do a couple more things. I can get this.
Oh, come on, Kevin! You got us biting our nails.
All right, so I'm just going to show you even closer view. Okay, so this is electron microscopy again. Okay, so now you're looking here at these are the Vero cells, right, where they've cultured in Vero cells. Okay. So those
in Vero, so that's inside of a living tissue.
No, not in vivo. Vero, they're monkey kidney cells. Okay, so it's a standard.
I was thinking in vitro. All right, sorry. So all right, so we've got in vitro, in Vero, and in vivo.
Yeah, so Vero cells, VERO, just refer to the original monkey, I think, that they came from, but they're essentially a standard model that people can use as a reference between different labs to say, well, you were using Vero cells, what did you see when you tried this test?
Got it.
Okay,
I'm just trying to
And what
distinguish because I'm familiar with in vitro and I'm familiar with in vivo.
so actually this test that you're looking at would be in vitro, meaning outside the body.
Right.
But they're viro cells, meaning they're monkey kidney cells that
Okay.
are on a
Thank you. Thank you for the distinction.
okay, so they're on an agar plate essentially, and then they're fed nutrients. So I heard you talking about, well, they give them bone broth, fetal bovine serum and antibiotics, etc. Every
Well,
cell culture has those in them. Okay, it's part of the methodology for using this model.
I don't want to interrupt
Right.
your flow, but I never did say bone broth. Okay, go ahead.
No,
Go.
bone broth is a mistake. It's
All right.
it's fetal bovine serum,
Yeah. I
and
did say
it,
bovine
it, it
serum.
so it's just a nutrient broth for the cells to survive
Okay.
and you have to keep them incubated
Right.
at 37 degrees Celsius to keep the biology warm enough to function. Okay.
Okay.
So you're looking there at vira cells expressing the virus on the surface. That's what those little round blobs are. So
Okay.
in the previous slide, you were looking at them at a higher magnification, right? And that's why you can see the spike glycoproteins. Okay, and it's a slightly different electron microscopy technique. So you go to the next page, and you get this more sort of three-dimensional view with this scanning electron microscopy. Okay, no, this one is tunneling electron microscopy, and it's not as high resolution, but you can still see fairly well the structures. And
Okay. I'm going to stop you. I have to stop you. I'm so sorry to fuck up your flow.
no, questions are good.
I love what I'm hearing. And again, not to be a sycophant, but I really, really love this conversation. You're my new best friend. But I have a problem because what I'm looking at are photographs. Now, I asked you before, can we put together a montage of before and after? So, what I'm looking at is a photograph of nodules
Mm.
on what looks like the posterior of a cell.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't tell me, are they going in? Are they going out? Did they come from outside? Did they come from within? Are they budding out? Are they part of the cell? Are they exosomes? Are they a pathogen that attach themselves to the cell? I don't know any of those answers because all I have is a single photograph.
Right. So this is where your friend was useful in saying that it takes 20 years to become expert in a field, right?
No.
So
Stop. It shouldn't take 20 fucking years. We have the technology. Show me a fucking virus entering a cell, reproducing, and then budding back out again.
Hold on. Let me say something too, though. It's also because, in truth, it's kind of like a detective work measuring out process, and a lot of this is as uncertain as you are about it, Rufus. Like this is really reductionist style, like how he was measuring out science to the probabilistic level. This is where it's at. Like we're like, this is the likely. We're calling things that. We're saying this is what it does. This is as well synthesized we have it measured out, and it's through repetitive photograph taking and people with the contextual experience seeing this behavior between these types of microbes in these situations versus what are considered healthy ones. That's essentially what's happened. If someone like yourself had tens and thousands of photos to compare, what the modern day science is saying is what you would kind of probably suppose and put forth in saying.
Well, okay, look. I'm a logistics man, and here's the reason I ask these types of questions. And here's the reason that my brain is in this particular direction of focus. I'm a logistics man. My focus, because I'm a contractor, I do shit for a living. I tear shit apart, and then I have to put it back together, and it has to be solid. It has to be permanent. It has to be long lasting, and then I get paid. And if it gets fucked up, I'm a one-man show. I'm the guy who has to go back and fix it. So I can't afford to be backstepping and repairing shit that I fucked up. So I'm a logistics man. And when I'm about to tear somebody's shit apart, I do the whole thing in my head, start to finish. So it's all about logistics. For me, my brain is all about logistics. How does this get from A to B? Okay? So this is
Right.
why
So you're
this is why this is
so
I'm sorry.
you're asking. So let's
I'm trying to
try
be
and break that
I'm
down a
trying to be
bit.
laser focused. I'm looking at
Mm.
nodules that appear to be attached to the posterior of a cell. That I can
So
accept.
actually, what that is a philopodia, right? And so this is an abnormality that we're seeing in Vera cells, so that people understand the properties of Vera cells very well. And so imagine this as you're a contractor, you understand how rot can start, and then how a mold can spread through wooden structure, right? And then it'll
Yes.
and you know what a mold is, right?
By
And
the
it's got
way,
like
I do mold remediation as part of my living. So yes,
okay.
I'm quite
Okay.
familiar with
So,
mold.
so to see a philopodia like this in a Vera cell, and the Vera cells beginning to stick together via. So in the bottom left-hand corner where it's
Yep.
D, okay, there's like a white rectangular box,
Yep.
and basically what you're seeing is
That's the clitoris,
the
right?
one. Sorry.
I'm sorry, that was a bad joke at a bad time. It looks like a vagina. It's a clitoris. I'm
No.
so sorry to interrupt you. Please go on.
Okay,
Bad
so
joke.
what
Bad
you're
joke.
looking at is you're looking at something that shouldn't be there. Okay, if you were looking at Vera cells, okay, and now you're seeing essentially the fingerprint of something new, which we know occurs under certain conditions,
Wait,
and
wait,
this
wait,
is
wait, wait, wait.
something that's
What shouldn't be there?
so that cross link between the. So can you work out that there are two big
Oh,
cells there?
So what I'm looking at in Figure D and Figure E. Figure E is obviously an exploded version or a zoomed-in version of Figure D. It's the box. Figure D, that
Yeah.
the little white box, is the exploded version of Figure D. Okay, so I see the expanded version. There's a cross link. There's a bridge, and you're telling me that that shouldn't be there.
That shouldn't be there, no.
And those are two
And
separate cells.
yes.
And do you see those little balls that are traveling across?
No, wait a minute. There's more than that. There are other bridges that are bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can see the two cells that are bonding.
Yeah. So SARS-CoV-2 has properties that we find in smallpox. Smallpox is known to do this, right? Which has formed this philopodia attack. So in this case, it doesn't even have to sort of release or float away viruses. It can change the structure of cells such that they will send out these branches to puncture into neighboring cells, right? And you can see almost that they're both transfected cells.
I've got so
They're
many
both send-
questions.
Okay, but again, your friend is right that it's detective work, and we have to take piece by piece. Okay, and we have to take these crime scenes and
So these are in vivo cells. These are monkey cells.
yes,
So which kind
Yes.
of cells? Because monkeys have lots of cells. They have,
kidney cells.
so kidneys are a form of muscle or protein cells.
So all
Wouldn't it
What
be
type?
wouldn't it be expected that two types of the same kind of cell would bond together, like muscle cells, kidney cells? Wouldn't that be expected?
So cells are singular entities, right? And you would have different types of connective tissue. So if you look down into muscle cells with a electron microscope, you can see very particular structures of actin and myosin, or tropomyosin in the case of muscles, forming striations. Okay, and they're basically bundled together, but they wouldn't be cross-linking per se. They would be more. It'd be more like you'd have to think of it as ever-expanding coaxial cables. But in the case of kidney cells like this, which are single layer of cells on an agar plate, okay, you would not expect to see these types of junctions between these cells.
Why?
Okay,
Why would we not
why?
expect that?
Because you have to think of as cells trying to maintain. It's hard enough for them to maintain their own. So it's hard for you to keep your home warm in the winter and hard to keep your home cool in the summer without you having to worry about what your next door neighbor is doing.
Well, that's a
Right?
terrible example, because if I'm trying to keep warm or cool, I'm going to want to get close to something that's warm if I want to be warm, or cool if I want to be cool.
Right, but if your next door neighbor in the winter likes to have all the windows open, you don't want that, right? So you have windows and doors of your own that you can shut.
There's
So-
some superiority and autonomy.
Well,
Essentially,
I'm thinking of my animals and my wife. When it's cold, we all cuddle up and get close because we share warmth.
That's fine between you
Do you
and
build
your
skin
wife.
bridges and permanently connect?
Yeah, skin bridges. I wrap my arm around her.
I mean, and permanently fasten yourself to it, never depart physically.
Temporarily.
So, there's like you being able to come in and contract and price up a job. Okay, we can do the same with respect to these model systems, right? So we know what these model systems are like. Okay, and Kev is a top-notch agent. I wonder how much he gets paid per annum. Nothing. I'm look, man. I'm medically retired. That's why I have time to do this, and I do this to hopefully. I'm in the gig economy, even though I have my own lab, etc. They pay shit for academics, right? And I got taken out with a head injury, so
Oh, you have a head injury?
Yeah.
Boy, you're really good at poisoning the well, aren't you? I'm supposed to trust anything you say now? You have a head injury.
Well, you have
This
to
poor guy's got a head injury.
I don't think anyone among us could certifiably say we got any one of our heads on straight.
All right, Kevin,
So-
go back to my original question. Why should we not see them try to reach out and grab on and bond? Why should we not see that?
Because physiologically it's a bad thing to do in the long term. So it might be short term, it might be beneficial for a cell, but imagine that one cell gets infected, the other cell wants to do everything it can to make sure that it's not sharing pathogens with its next door neighbor.
Wait a minute though. If you have two, like say we have two muscle cells, or in this case kidney or heart cells, so they're muscle cells, they're protein based cells, structures that are supposed to be together, because after all, a kidney is made up of millions of cells, and so are other muscles and hearts and whatever. So if you put a muscle cell in a petri dish and another muscle cell in a petri dish, and you nudge them close together, wouldn't you expect those two to find each other and go, "Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you. Hey, let's get together"? Because that's
No.
what they fucking do. They form kidneys. They form muscles.
No, so there's different. So even between separate cells, you would have like a sort of connective layer, different protein structures, if you like. So you have to think of it's collections of cells which form a tissue, and then different tissues come together to form an
How do they
organ.
form a tissue? How do they form a tissue? How do collective cells form a tissue? Do they not bond in the way that I'm looking at?
So you have to. So let's try and think of a good. So muscle is a good example, right? So you have essentially a wrapping around.
I just want to point out this is an entirely different field of expertise to get into right here.
And I mean, I guess the question is, you wanted to ask, is there an image of the virus going into the cells? Well, this is about as close as you can get with our current technology. Okay.
Well, I thought you said that you could stitch together photographs of before and after,
Yeah,
and
so I can show you.
can you show me a free floating virus that penetrates, goes into a cell,
I'll show you a
and
free
then
floating
replicates?
virus.
Like
Hang
a
on a minute.
flip book of like crime
Yeah,
scenery.
I mean, just a stop motion. I don't care if it's fucking bocce.
Give me a claymation, man.
Claymation. I'm gonna need more than a cartoon, bro.
So your stop motion, I'll show you that of an individual virus. So one of those circular things, and we'll go through it slice by slice so we can see everything in it. Okay, so we can visualize an isolated virus, which is part of the claim that Kaufman or Cohen will make, that you can't isolate a virus, and etc. etc. But what I'm trying to do is to build you a picture towards the satisfaction of Koch's postulates, which shows that we have multiple methods, and then we can transfect an animal and re-identify the virus afterwards. Okay, and so you're dependent upon, again, multiple methodologies to get towards the probability that you're looking at something real. Okay, and yet there's this degree of ambiguity which you're always going to have, right? Because one time you let something go, it's going to be that helium balloon rather than your lighter or cigarettes.
Damn it.
Okay.
Damn it. It was supposed to fall. I had money on that.
So that philopodia sticking out with viral particles, okay, is essentially as close as we will see to visualizing a transfection mechanism until we can find a way to put something living in a electron microscope chamber, because it's a vacuum and you have to coat everything in something, because if you just fire an electron beam through it, it's basically an X-ray and it would just be transparent. So you coat it in this sort of heavy metal component. So
I'm listening. I'm also looking. I'm doing a search while you're talking. I'm doing a search for connective tissue.
So, and you'll find if you look for tissue types, so a good one to look for is lung tissue, right? Because it's loose, right? And you can see different types of connective tissue and the cells themselves, and then you have to imagine something more compact. So, or you can look at striated muscle cell. There's lots of different things that you can see there, but you have to think it goes from cells, collections of cells form tissues, different tissues form organs.
Okay. I'm looking at it. Maybe I should share my screen, or maybe you could do your own.
I can see the YouTube feed, so it's okay.
Okay, so this image of connective tissue, slide number 7. Now it's a dyed image. It's not an electron microscopy. It's a dye image, photo image, or what's the correct phraseology? And whatever you understand.
It's hematoxylin and eosin stain. But yes, go on.
So not only do we see what looks like shitloads of these little viral particles.
Right? Yeah, but you're looking at a completely different scale.
No, I understand. Right? No, I do understand. In the upper right where my mouse is bouncing, it looks like a full cell. I'm seeing all. I mean, this is, when I look, I don't know where this is. Image made by subject copyright. Okay.
In that image, you can't see the cell membranes at the scale that you're looking at on the electron microscopy. Right? The electron microscopy is thousands of times larger than what you're looking at there. So I can see many cell nuclei. Okay, and that's a tissue sliced, a tissue that's been sliced. Okay, so it's dehydrated, stained, sliced, and like I say, the features that you get from that are different from what you would get from
Dehydrated?
H&E. Yeah, so that would be alcohol dehydrated, right? So you put it through steps of alcohol.
Why would you do that? I know we're getting
Because
off track, but
right, because there's a methodology to stain cells that one, you need them to stick to the glass, if you like, and if they're not dehydrated, then they can float off the glass. It's difficult to make out features if they are if they're not if you don't take the water out. So you're putting them in graded strengths of alcohol to pull more and more water out to concentrate down the structures so you can see them.
okay.
So again, you're trying to get every answer from one type of image. That's not going to work, right? You have to understand that you've got to be able to run up and down multiple scales.
Sure. I'm with you.
Right. So if you're, I don't know, changing a I don't know, doing solder work on a PCB at 1 minute, and then you're checking the wiring round the house and do the floodlights come on. You understand that you're at different scales, right?
Absolutely.
And so you wouldn't. So a soldering iron is good to bring heat to that particular bit on the circuit board to do a job. For that to make sure that there's like.
I understand you're overemphasizing the scale, the point of scale. I get it. I'm just trying to get my head around this because I didn't spend 20 years on this stuff, right? So, but I am a thinker and I've got some critical skills. I'm just wondering. All right, I don't want to totally belabor this point, but in my total layman's opinion, that looks like two cells of a similar kind that are trying to bond together to become what they're supposed to be, whether they be muscle cells, kidney cells, or whatever.
Yeah, and that's a good question to have. Hang on.
I mean, look, I've seen where they do these things where they try to put little microscopic wires inside the human brain.
Yeah.
In fact, I've even seen documentaries where they put these ultra micro wires in a petri dish with neurons.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what I used to do.
If I may, I'm just looking at this image. You saw it that way, Rufus. You know how I see it like, look at like this ship on the left here is obviously like swollen and overburdened, and it's got like these scraggly things hanging off the side, and they're like cast onto this other cell, which looks pretty taut and healthy, and it's almost looking like it's like trying to like run away, and you can see them like sending pirates over to like loot the fucking the booty of this cell here, and it looks like that to me. I see that.
Well, I see it too. I'm focused mostly on these two cells in figure D. Like I said, we could put a micro wire in a petri dish and put some neurons, brain neurons, and when you electrify the wire, the brain neurons, they detect the wire and they want to connect to it. They send out little nodules, little tentacles, and they try to reach out and grab onto that wire. And that's why we've got the Neuralink. Elon Musk is working on brain interface. That's why that shit works. We got monkeys playing fucking video games right now. That's why that shit works. It makes sense to me. It makes more sense to me. And I'm sorry, I'll shut up and let the expert speak. You're the PhD. But it makes sense to me that when you put two cells together and they're like cells, you got two muscle cells, two kidney cells, that they're going to want to get close and get, hey, join up.
Yes, look, so there are ways that cells that are close together will communicate, right? They're called gap junctions. These exist, okay? But they're very different to what you're looking at there, which is what technically called philopodia. And a gap junction is essentially you would, so if you do a scan, if you search electron microscopy gap junction, you're going down to a very, very small scale, smaller than the virus. Okay, that's how cells will try to communicate to each other. Or in the case of neurons, what they do.
Hold on. How could it
Hang
be
on.
smaller than the virus? These little balls clearly look like the virus itself.
Yeah,
Like these
I'm talking about gap junctions between cells, not so gap junctions where cells join and communicate. Because it's not like cells that I'm trying
that
to.
gap junction is that bridge between cell.
No. So
Oh, okay.
a gap junction is something that's will allow two cells to communicate
Ah.
in a way that's controlled and allows for passage of ions and information. So there you go. First one, electron microscopy gap junction, right? And it'll look completely different to you, right? And then you'd want to compare the size and the scale of it, and you see, yeah. So that sort of first, second, fourth one along, most beautiful gap junction. It says. So that's
Is
how
that the one I'm
cells.
on right there? The fourth? No, that's
No,
the
you
third.
wanted to go the one next
You
to
want
it.
this one here, the most beautiful?
Yeah. Well, that's good actually, because the one you're on, you can sort of see the larger scale, and that is smaller than the virus. That type of communication channel. Okay, whereas a philopodia could literally have thousands of gap junctions on it, because the proteins, the structure is so small.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna take your word on that one.
Right, so you're not wrong in that cells want to communicate. They do want to communicate, but big philopodia like that would be essentially just you would lose control. It'd be like opening the floodgates to a dam on a structure that works very hard just to contain its
Sorry to interrupt. What travels through a gap junction? Like an electrical neural signal, or
so ions
Ions.
or protein fragments, or messaging molecules, things like that.
right?
So
All right,
yeah,
all right, listen.
it's another level and layer of complexity down.
All
Okay,
right, we got 10 minutes, and I'm gonna kill this live stream. I don't give a fuck if you're in the middle of your sentence.
all right, so so E is about as close as you'll get to visualizing a transfection mechanism. Okay, but I hope you can agree that it looks something like you could imagine it to be. Okay, try and think of the thing. That's the next slide, and how it affects the dogs. You've seen that movie, trust
You
you have.
can't make heads or tails of these pictures, bro.
Yeah, but this is just clips from the movie The Thing.
I've
Okay,
never seen that.
He's making a metaphorical comparison.
yeah. So anyway, Cox postulates states: can you take an infective agent from a patient? So that patient so this is just for SARS originally, but what you can do is you can take infective agent from a patient, you can give it to a monkey, and then you can chop that monkey up and you can identify viral particles in the monkey. That's the definition of Cox postulates. Okay.
That doesn't sound like what I understand Cox postulate to be.
Okay, so I'm giving you a very abridged version, but you tell me what you understand by Cox postulates.
All right, Cox postulate says you have a sick animal or human. You take a sample, whether it be nasal swab or lung sputum or some other bodily fluid.
Mm-hmm.
From that, you identify through a microscope or whatever means you
isolate and culture your virus.
First, you identify what you think is a pathogen, and then you isolate that pathogen, and then you give that pathogen to a healthy specimen. That healthy specimen must then become ill with the same symptoms, and then you must then re-isolate that pathogen from the specimen that you infected.
Yes.
That's Koch's postulate.
Very good. Very good.
Oh,
Okay.
thanks. Thanks for that.
So here we go. Comparative pathogenesis of COVID-19, MERS, and SARS in a non-human primate model. So here they're taking different strains of SARS, okay, and then putting them into monkeys to see if they get sick. Okay, so they've identified the virus. Okay, so they've cultured the virus. They've identified the virus. They can tag it genetically. They know its genetic sequence. They know everything there is molecularly to know, and they can differentiate those different viruses. Not just if you took SARS, the first SARS, MERS, and the current SARS-2, they would look identical under the electron microscope, but it's the molecular biology that differentiates them. Okay, so we can differentiate the two different different subspecies of virus, okay, and then give them to a healthy monkey. Hey kids, quiet. You can give them to a healthy monkey, and then you can get the disease. So what you're looking at here in the top left-hand corner, those are monkey lungs after they've been taken out and they've been fixed with formalin. Okay, and in the right-hand corner, you can see those dark red patches.
Yep.
Okay, those are what are the ground glass opacities that you see on X-rays. Okay, so this is by them putting
ground glass opacities.
Yeah,
I already know what you're saying.
Okay, so these are when you see X-rays, you see people. So if I go back up,
they're opaque. They look like ground up pieces of glass in people's lungs.
Yeah, so that's what you're looking at in that X-ray image there. Okay.
Yep, I understand ground glass opacities.
Okay, so
for a contractor, I'm smarter than you think.
No, I think you're pretty smart, dude. I think you're just tagging on to people who are trying to scam you, right? And Andrew Kaufman wants you to pay $1,000 an hour. Okay.
Yeah, but I haven't given him $1, so I'm just listening to what the guy has to say. I'll listen to anybody. I'm listening to you. I don't know you.
Right. But many people have given him money. Okay, and he's been signal boosted. He's part of the information war.
He has been signal boosted. I'll give you that. Absolutely.
Right.
Let's wrap this up. We got 5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, so they've taken the virus. They've infected a healthy monkey. So that's established Koch's postulates right there. So the monkey got sick. Okay, with the same symptoms. Okay, and now you have to re-isolate the virus. So we're using another technology here, which is called monoclonal antibodies. It's the same kind of antibodies that your body would make to fight a virus. Okay, and what we're able to do, we're able to put a chemical dye onto those antibodies so that we can specifically detect them and see which cells have been infected by the virus.
Was that done the first time?
What do you mean the first time?
What was the phrase you used? Monoclonal antibodies?
Yeah.
What was the phrase?
Monoclonal antibodies.
Was that done the first time?
And what do you mean the first time?
Well, according to Koch's postulate, you have to first identify what you think is a pathogen, then you isolate it, and then you infect.
So that's been done, right? So this electron microscopy plate, or this one, okay, where it's the crater, if you wanted to, you could do immunohistochemistry on these cells and find the same type of imagery, okay, and you can do it to human cells, etc. You can take the lungs out of those people when they're dead, and you can use monoclonal staining antibodies to locate the virus in those patients, okay. So it's a very precise way of saying that the virus is there, especially after taking the tissue out of the specimen, and we could culture the tissue again if you wanted to, and then do the cycle again. But we want to know if there's an infection that's occurred in the tissue after we've transfected it from the virus that we took from the first ill patient, right? And so this is what they've done in that case. So they've taken it, they've put it in a monkey. The monkey has got ill, and they can tell in the monkey whether it's which type of SARS it is, depending on how ill the monkey gets, right? Whether it's COVID-19, MERS, or the original SARS. Okay, so there are distinct differences, and that's how accurate the data is.
All right, listen to me very carefully.
Mm.
Thank you so much for your time. Kevin, you and I are now hooked up on Skype. Would you please be willing to come back and have another conversation with me?
Anytime.
Fantastic. It is almost 2 o'clock a.m. my time. And I am
Hmm.
going to wrap this up with a gigantic thank you for your time. Thank you for your expertise. Thank you for being there to answer a lot of questions that I've wanted to have answered. And by the way, I've got a mountain of other questions for you to answer. And I would
Sure.
be thrilled to have another conversation with you.
Yep. Anytime.
But I do have to work tomorrow.
Yeah. So just send a DM in Skype, and I'll arrange something.
You are my new best friend.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I really appreciate it. I don't want to cut this off, but it's 2 fucking o'clock in the morning for me.
Yeah. Okay. But there you go. That's SARS. That's Cox postulates established for you. Right. It's routine. It's done all the time. They're lying to you when they're saying it hasn't been done. Okay.
Okay. I've got a lot of challenging questions for you. I'm going to go back and
Mhm.
I'm going to re-listen to this. I've got challenging questions right now, but I'm going to go back and listen to this. And I'm a note taker. If
Mm.
you don't know me, if I used to do a podcast. I used to do a 3-hour weekly podcast, and I used to
Mhm.
show up with 5 to 8 or 10 pages worth of freaking notes because I would research all week long for my upcoming guests. So
Mhm.
I'm a thinker, and I'm willing to have my mind changed. I just want to have answers to questions. That's all. I don't want bullshit. I know I'm being lied to by various entities, by media, by government. And I know that there are social media and alternative media people who are grifters and are not completely on the up and up. And I'm completely willing to throw Andy Kaufman under the bus. I've had my own personal encounter with Andy Kaufman. I'll tell you about that another time.
No, great. I'd love to hear that.
It's not a big deal. It's a small thing, but I had anyway. And you know what? Fuck it. I'll tell you.
Go
Um,
on.
I was watching him being interviewed for like the third or fourth or fifth time on Richie from Boston's channel
Mm.
because I think this guy got his start somehow with Richie and or David Icke. I don't know who first.
Richie, I think, and then Crow 777 was another one.
Okay, well, Richie from Boston is a known idiot flat earther.
Hmm.
And then
Yep.
I became a fan of Andy Kaufman. So I started looking for Andy Kaufman. I found that motherfucker being interviewed by none other than Owen Benjamin.
Bear Brain. I do loads of episodes busting that twat down.
All right, so I don't need to tell you about Owen Benjamin. And if I'm not mistaken, there was another one who was called um, something
Crow.
space. No, it was about space. It was about somebody who didn't believe that space existed. It was something space. It was like I forget the name of the channel, but it was something space. But
I don't
anyway,
know. I
but
haven't seen that one.
but I actually posted a video because I reached out to Andy for interview, and
Mm.
then I found him on Richie for like the fourth or fifth time, and I
Mm.
reached out to in his premiere during the live chat. I,
Hmm.
I I I threw out his name and I said, Andy, if you want, I respect you, blah blah blah. Your message is important. It resonates with people. People are picking it up. I just want to say that you're discrediting yourself by hanging out with all these fucking flat earthers. Owen Benjamin, Richie from Boston, this other guy. There is no space. I forget the name of the channel, but whatever it was he was a space denier.
Mm.
And I was like, Andy, you're discrediting your own message. And you know what he did?
What?
He blocked me as fast as you can snap your fingers.
Yeah, well, there you go. That tells you all you need to know, right?
Yeah. And there's a video on my channel. It's an open letter to Andy Kaufman. There's a video on my channel where I was like, look, dude, this is fucked up. You're ruining your message and you blocked
Mm.
me and I would like to talk to you. I got questions and you're hanging out with you're associating with known fucking moron, grifter, flat earth idiots who can't discern their ass from a hole in the ground. And
Yeah.
I wasn't that harsh in my video, but that's the point I was trying to make.
Well, you sir are very astute in your observations, and you're right to be skeptical, right? But I shall tell you this: what you're dealing with right now is you're dealing with the release of a dual agent technology. Okay, that's about as far as we can know with respect to intent. But essentially, you're dealing with a biowarfare agent right now, and in the fog of war, you're going to expect all types of misinformation going backwards and forwards. Okay,
Fair enough.
and that's what you're dealing with. That's why it seems such an impenetrable mess. Okay, and there are decent scientists out there who are like myself. We're mortified at what's going on. Which we can't get signal boosted, dude, like Andy Kaufman. Okay, and it's a frustrating. Well, like I say, I do this every day, right? And I'll go. And like I say, I did a stream. It's over 3 hours long, just breaking down their latest video. It's him and Thomas Cowan, and just going through their nonsense. But I've got lots of videos just pointing out how the mistakes he makes at a scientific level. Andy Kaufman doesn't know what he's doing. And like I say, from lying to his degrees to not knowing basic science, he's a fraud. And people should be wary of this. And yes, you should be questioning what's going on right now. And if I can help that, then I'm happy to. And if people are willing to listen, I'll sit and spend the time that it takes to go through with some.
I hope I've demonstrated that I'm more than willing to listen. I would love to have you back as soon as possible. You and I'll connect with you on Skype. We can chat. We'll figure out a good schedule, because you're on the other side of the damn planet. We need to figure out a good time to do it when your kids aren't screaming and I'm not up at 2 in the morning. So we can work out a mediocre time between the two of us.
Sure.
I have other friends in Australia that I've chatted with and around the world, and I arrange schedule to have interviews. But thank you again for your time. It really means a lot to me. And when I started this stream, I was just bored. I wanted to talk to some friends or talk to anybody. And I started the very, 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 very beginning, the opening statement I made in the beginning of this live stream. I said, this is either going to be the best live stream or it's going to be the worst live stream. And it has turned out to be the best. This is fantastic. I'm thrilled to have talked to you. Thank you for your time.
You're more than welcome. Thank you for listening. You'll be surprised how difficult it is to get people to listen.
No, I wouldn't. I've been doing this shit for fucking almost 20 years.
Well, Rufus, thank you very much. And,
you can call me Aaron. Everybody knows me. There's no secret. My first name is Aaron, and that's that. So I'm Aaron. You can call me Aaron if you want to. You can call me Rufus. I'll answer to both.
Okay, Aaron, thank you very much for having me on, taking the time to listen, and we can continue on. Get your questions ready, and I'll do my best to.
I'm going to have pages for you next time we talk.
Okay. But like I say, you can go to my YouTube channel, and you can. There's a lot of stuff there. I just put the link again in your chat. And like I say, if you know people are confused by this stuff, send them my way, and I'll try and
everybody's
do my best.
Fucking confused. There's nothing but conflicting information. But you know what? It's after 2, and I'm killing it. So we're gonna do this again. We're gonna pick it up right where we left off. I'm gonna re-listen to this. I'm gonna take notes. Thank you. You're my new best friend. Thank you.
Aaron, thank you. Take care.
Appreciate it, Kevin. We'll talk again soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Killendale.
Yeah, Killendale. Thank you.
Killendale.
Oh yeah. Peace.
Anything you want to say real quick before I hang up? Because when I hang up,
yeah, there's only 2 stats you need to look at when it comes to this shit. It's how likely are you going to suffer the side effect and get actually cured by a vaccine, and how likely are you actually going to suffer some kind of other injury from the virus itself. And it's really not that confusing when you look at that shit. And that's it.
Excellent. Again, I'm going to review this entire conversation. I will have pages of notes. And Kevin, we will talk again soon. Thank you so much.
Yeah, take it easy, bro.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Good night. And when I hang up, I'm hanging up on you too, Killendale. So nice talking to you, buddy.
Yeah, peace, man.
Be good. See you.
Bye-bye.
Well, there it is, everybody. I hope that was useful. I hope YouTube doesn't take it down for medical disinformation. I have not been looking at the side chat. I hope you guys had a good little discussion among yourselves because I was busy having a conversation. 42 people watching. That's fantastic. I was just talking to Kevin McCarn. I hope I pronounced it Cairn, Cairn, PhD. And we're going to have him back on. I'm going to have him back on real soon. But it's 2 o'clock. It's after 2 my time, and I am going to be cutting this off. I am not going to be addressing the side chat. I'm sorry, you guys. I know there's been a lot of comments directed directly at me. Adrian, I'm sorry. Which cells have been affected by the virus? I'm sorry, Adrian. I wasn't looking at the side chat. I will go back and review all this. I will take notes. I will ask Kevin. We will be back. We will do this again. I absolutely promise all of you. All of your direct questions to me. You're going to be wired all night with the questions. Yeah, you're right. I'm going to be up for another fucking 30 minutes to an hour. Thank you, Blind Straight, for that kind word there. You know what, Blind Straight? You've been a pain in my ass, but you're a good dude. I'm going to give you a wrench. Sometimes you're a pain in the ass. Most of the time, you're a good dude. You got a wrench, bro. Look what we got here. So I hope you guys got something out of this. Zero, I'm sorry. I know you sent me something earlier on Skype right as I was getting Kevin on. I'm sorry. I didn't have time to look at it. I'm going to try and play catch up. I got a lot of catching up to do. Artemis. Good to see you, Artemis. Glad you were here. Oh my God, will you ever be on ClickCaw? Hey, Eleanor, you know what? Oh, you killing me. Watch this. You want to see something? You want to see something, Eleanor? Let me show you something just for fun. Just for fun. 'Cause why not? Claire Caw won't fucking leave me alone. Is that why you're asking? 'Cause you saw her on my list over here? Where did it go? Where'd she go? Claire Caw won't leave me alone. She sends me link after link after link. Oh, what? This is not right. Sunday, August 4th, 2019. I don't even think that's correct. No, wait a minute. I did not say drop link here. Not Sunday, not August 4th. I haven't sent Claire Caw a message in over a year. Claire Caw will not leave me alone. I've told her to piss off more than once. Claire Caw is cray cray. And I'm going to leave that one there. Claire Caw is cray cray. All right, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. There's 39 people watching, and I hate to cut it off on so many people, but you know what? It is 2:10 a.m. my time, and I love you guys. And I am going to go back and review the side chat, and I am going to take down your questions, and I am going to have many pages of notes, and I am going to have Kevin back on soon. But for now, I'm going to have to say goodnight, you guys. I do have to work tomorrow. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for checking this out. I hope that you got something out of this. This was a really great conversation with Kevin. I don't know his actual credentials, but he appears to be a full-blown PhD, possibly molecular biology. He sent me some links. I'm going to go back, and I just don't have time. I'm going to fucking bed. I'm sorry. I'm winding down. All right, you guys. Thank you. Peace. I'm going to go ahead and stop streaming. I'll see you guys soon. As soon as